Okay, welcome guys. We've got a connection, so I'm guessing it's live. I might just double check that actually. Double check. Are we live? I think we are. Yes, we are. Great. Okay, welcome guys. Welcome. We are, this is our second session for 2024. I'm going to now be naming these not by the actual numbers of the ChatTactic, but by the year and then the number, because that way at least I probably will be able to keep track. I think I missed a fair few last year, so anyway, we'll just let it do it that way. Welcome. So we're going to be looking today at, well, I guess we'll still just continue on with the coming games. There wasn't really much that it was, I didn't have a good look actually to see if there's anything that was released this week. Certainly next week we start off with the big coming games like Dominion 6. I was thinking of doing that this week, but I think I'll do it next week. I'm still recording content for that, so I've actually got my hands on the game. Awesome game. So looking forward to being able to sort of release the videos for those, but that will be probably after next week's ChatTactic session. I thought we might just continue on with the games that are coming up in 2024. It was good last week actually. You guys gave me a few other games. Now I've sort of gone through most of the videos that I wanted to do in the different classifications. So for example, I'm not going to bother about doing a separate turn-based strategy or real-time strategy video. Auto battle, I'm really unsure about doing an auto battler one as well. I think I probably won't bother with that one. I've done RPG, city and base building, Empire 4X, sim management games, board games, which has just come out today. So they came out about an hour ago. And then war games. So actually, I was surprised at how popular this video was. That was a real surprise because I only had 5 really that I included in my top list. So Bob was saying, "Hi Daz, you lost them. I lost. What did I lose? Lost the numbering system. Just got it sort of went out the window. Like I was up to 80 something, I think, and then I thought, look, I'm not sure what number I'm really up to." Squad games, I haven't actually done these yet, so I'll have to do a video for that probably today, I think. I don't know whether to then do the classifications of like best fantasy games, best sort of modern but modern-ish games, and then space/future games. So I sort of don't know whether to do videos on all 4 of those. Definitely want to do squad games because there's some good squad games coming up this year. But there's quite a bit. I didn't know whether, and we can do anything we like with this, so whichever way you guys want to go with it. So I'll just say hi. So hi Team Games, and Dry Dock Games is saying just passing by. Got to head out for an errand, unfortunately. So he's probably already gone. And Michael and Sorbicol, yeah, Bob's as well. Chris, hi. Ian McIntosh saying hi. What game is that over 5 years old? What game that is over 5 years old would you recommend? 5 years. That's a lifetime in gaming at the moment. I'll come back to that one. As Russell say, hey everyone, and Supergirl saying you're about the only person looking at war games. Am I really? Because I was surprised at that. I was like, it shocked me the numbers of the views compared to the other videos. I expected less out of the war game one and more out of the others, so it was sort of a funny one to sort of see the relatively healthy numbers on that particular video. So. Yeah, so I think we could even go through the various comments, but yeah, games over 5 years old. It really depends on what you like. What sort of game you're looking for. I mean, if you look at these classifications that I've got, I think that these people do tend to gravitate towards any one of these different types of classifications. I mean, you can see I've got like games that do spread across the different genres, I guess, in through this area. I mean, in reality, fantasy, modern, and future are all, I split that, that's a separate entity as such. And turn-based strategy and real-time strategy were also, and sort of auto battler, that sort of, those 3 there were sort of mutually exclusive to a degree, although the auto battlers, some of them, like turn-based strategy, but still with an auto battler in there for Ara History Untold. So on and so forth. So where are we up to? So Dry Dock is there, so it's still around. Like the Prussians at Waterloo, that errand is being delayed. So then we've got Chris is then saying, hey Daz, your Master of Magic stream the other day cured me of my insomnia, if you remember me. Yes, I do remember that. That's good. That's good. Casey's saying I really enjoyed your War Games video. I had to laugh when you said you liked simpler games. This from a man who features Distant Worlds 2, Shadow Empire, Fog of War 2, etc. So Fog of War, Field of Glory 2. That's another thing. Actually, I wanted to mention that. Do I do that now before I forget? Yeah, games. Actually, coming back to the games, Gladius is 5 years old. Yeah, actually, well, there you go. That's the game. Christelis is saying, yeah, Gladius is 5 years old. That's the one game. That's the one game over 5 years old that is it's awesome. So yeah, Gollum in space. Yeah, no, it's funny because I don't mind complex games as long as they're engaging, and I also don't mind. But what I sort of shy away from games where it takes too long for me to record a video before things start to happen. And those big war games, they're just too involved. Each turn just takes way too long. So it's sort of it'd be like watching paint dry, I guess, if you were watching a video of it. So I tend to not follow that or not do those sort of games. Anyway, I did want to talk about Field of Glory because I just stumbled across it. I didn't realise that they'd actually done this, but what they have done. I'll just go back across to this one through here, and I'll just go back in. Actually, where was it? If I go to Steam, and then we'll just do F11, so we get this one up and running. Field of Glory. Now, where did they do it? I think it was under this one here. Field of Glory 2 Medieval, Community Hub. I just stumbled across it literally about an hour ago, just when I was doing, farting about, ready to do this sort of thing. Because I saw there was an update for Field of Glory 2 Medieval and Field of Glory Ancients as well. Have both got recent updates. And I thought, I wonder what that was. So I went to discussions. And basically this top one here. This has been out, it says 2 hours ago. So I thought, I wonder if that's what the thing was all about. Because I can't see there's no update as such. That's happened. Oh, yeah, there we go. Actually, there's a change log there. That's so that's the one that was actually changed. But then 2 hours ago, there was a change to this, and I didn't realise that this had actually been released, but it had been released originally nearly a year ago. So this is the Field of Glory Ancients and Medieval. This is the tabletop rules, and so if you're into Field of Glory, or if you're even interested in Field of Glory, this is definitely worth downloading. And so I've already downloaded them. So they've actually done I think all of these have now been updated. So May, June, and August. So they've actually finished off all of these different things. But then somebody was saying one of the links wasn't actually working. So that's where they got back and then sort of said, yep, okay, that's been updated. So that's what drew me in. And then I downloaded these, and these are awesome. I'll just see if I can. I'll just press F11 again, and go. And I did download them, so we'll have a quick look. Field of Glory. I think I put it in manuals. Okay, I'm just going to put this into a different area. New folder. I meant to actually unzip all this for you. FOG tabletop. So I'll just go that one. I'm pretty sure I don't have any of those. These are the actual the computer game manuals, but this is actually the tabletop manuals, and this is actually the reason that these are. I'll just extract 7-zip extract here. Okay, yep, that's fine. I'll just do each of these. 7-zip extract here. There's a fair few different bits and pieces in through here. That was a list book. This one here. Extract here. There's a lot of stuff that's actually come in with this. And I haven't looked at. I had a bit of a look at some of it, but I didn't look at all of it. And it was, if you're into this sort of stuff, grab this, because I'm surprised that they actually released it. To be honest, for the simple reason that this is this has been a big part of essentially the tabletop games. It's really what they're what they sell. So it's sort of I mean, they still sell the miniatures and things like that, but this is actually quite big. And what it does do is, if you're into the into Field of Glory, the computer game, it's all based on these rules anyway. So the actual rules, I found that when I had read the rules years and years ago, like if you look at the full rules, for example, this is the biggest file, and I'll just sort of skim past this one stuff, but it's the actual book itself. Like it's the latest version of the actual books, and it's got like heaps of detail, and it really actually helps. So if you're a bit like me, like I like reading, like particularly if I'm going to, like before I go to bed, I like to read books and things like that. And I love reading these sort of books. Because it really does, it gives you such a good perspective of the actual computer games as well. And so it sort of talks about how things work. This is all about the tabletop. So very little to do with the computer game in a lot of ways, but it actually, because these are tile based, the actual tabletop is more grid rather than hex. But it's actually no, the computer game's grid as well. So forget what I just said. But no, this is really. I've read these years and years and years ago, or one of them I think, and it really opened up how to play Field of Glory to me as a computer game, and it was one of those things where. Because there's a lot of stuff that when you play the computer game you don't really understand it, but this is a really, really good book. I mean, we're only just scratching the surface here of what it's actually got, but it sort of goes all the way through all the different rules are in here. And again, the thing I like about this is if it's a PDF file, so you can actually just search for stuff. And then it's got the list books as well, are quite interesting. So if we go back into it's funny that they haven't put everything together into one big book. But if you look at book 1, for example, let's look at book 3. That's probably going to be the most recent time. So if we look at book 3, that's going to be the Army List, book 3. And so this thing goes through early medieval to late medieval. And so even these, I just find these absolutely fascinating, because it then goes through the like all this information. It's just so much information in here as to what goes on. So this is sort of setting up the actual games themselves, but it's got like little bits of history, what happened, how the different forces are put together. And so if you are using the computer game, even this is so useful. And I just wanted to head off with that one, because it's just such a great resource that they've actually given us. Like it's I'm really surprised actually that this is now just freely available. Where it sort of just goes through. Again, just awesome little bits of history. And this is sort of like, again, for the tabletop. But it really does help enormously with the computer game to actually have reference to this. So anyway, I thought I'd just mention that because, as I say, I only just found it today. But it's been there for nearly a year and I didn't know. And none of you told me. I haven't looked at the chat, but I bet you some of you go, yeah, I knew that when it came out. But this is, I do like finding this sort of stuff. And there's also little things like they've got the different sorts of reference sheets and things like this as well. So you've sort of got like the full-on reference sheets back in through here as well to sort of be able to, like it sort of just goes through how things actually work. So all of this is actually really awesome, just as a resource for the actual, for the computer game. I don't know is there anything that's different. There will be some things that may be a bit different, but it really does. I know that when I read it, it really made it so much easier to understand what disrupted and disordered was. It also exposes all of the die rolls as to how things actually do work in terms of percentages. So it was a great resource to read these at the time. So that's just a single sheet. I don't know why they haven't put it all together in one great big document, because even it's funny because, it is funny because what they do actually have is when you go back into you've got the full rules PDF. I guess I can get rid of all of these zip files now, but I'll just leave it there. But the errata and updates, it's sort of funny that they've got that one there. This one came out a minute later, so I don't know why that was not actually added. I don't know if it is added, but these are all the different erratas that were made. So I'm not sure if that's been put in the actual document. Maybe it has, but the index wasn't. I was surprised at this. So the index is actually separate to the actual document, but I would have thought that should have just been popped at the back end of it. But I'm really, really impressed that they've actually put this out there. So it's sort of it's a great resource, and the fact that it's a PDF file as well. If you wanted to look at disordered, for example, you could just go to full rules and then just do Control F and disordered. There we go, and just go through basically the list of I mean, there'd be too many in there to do a search for. But if you were looking for something, a particular aspect about it, this is a great resource to have. Even if it's not quite the computer game, it's going to be very close. Anyway, I thought I'd just show that one. That was a bit of a diversion, but it was something that I found an hour ago. I thought, oh wow, that's actually really cool. So Field of Glory 2, Medieval. I'm guessing the Ancients will have the same pinned area in there, but that was really impressive just to see that in there. So as I say, really worth grabbing that one. All right, so reading a few of the other ones. Dapper Fox is saying, oh, Field of Glory is exciting. I'm just getting into Warmaster, which is a similar sort of rules. Oh, okay. And Dronic Dream Games is saying, I'm surprised that fantasy ends up being more of a category than naval stuff in your book currently, considering Boat Crew and Silent Depth are on your list. Yeah, well, they're simulators for me. And look, you've got Rule the Waves 3. I think that there is more content coming for Rule the Waves 3 as well. So that's going to be interesting to sort of see. I'll just go back to, what should we leave up on this? Let's go back into the actual list into here. Yeah, so I didn't split things up too much. So so for example, if I was looking for naval type games, I mean, I don't know if where I've got actually I don't even have Rule the Waves 3 in here. I don't think because I wasn't sure if anything was coming in 2024. This is just my list for 2024. I certainly had it in the 2023 list, but then I fleshed this out more than the actual 2023 list that I had. By the way, I will be. I think I'll make a couple more videos in this series, and then I'll be releasing this as so people can just view the spreadsheet if you're wanting to view it. Probably next week sometime. Oh, probably this week. Sorry, later this week. Once the last of those videos go up. And I'll be popping these into my Discord. So anyone that's on my Discord will then have access to it. Anyone that's a Patreon, actually at this stage, has had access to it for about a week. So I actually released this on my on Discord again in my Patreon little area on Discord. So the Patreons only have access to it. I don't know if you've got view only rights, if you can use the filtering. But for example, if we were going to look at sim games, the way I've been sort of doing it is to just sorting the scores essentially by A to Z. So I go from lower to highest. So that's sort of my highest rated games, and these are my least rated games at the back through here. And then just going down to sim management, for example, if we're going to look at that as an example, and just flicking false off and just clicking on OK. That way I just get all the sim management games, and then I was just going and literally grabbing the last 10 from this list, and then maybe sort of checking and seeing is there any that aren't really simulation games. So, for example, Field of Glory, Kingdom, sort of, yeah, that still would be in there. That would still actually work. But a few of these really aren't sort of Sims games, so I would then sort of just chop out the ones that weren't actually strictly sim games. Sometimes I would deselect the actual button there. But if you are wanting to have a look at that, it's a fairly long list actually with what's actually there. So it's sort of it got really fleshed out. There's so much stuff coming this year. But anyway, that's and then I'll just select all and click on back OK, and we've just got it there. So it's an easy way to sort of see what my thought process was. Anyway, let's continue on. All right, so Dapper Fox is in saying also now keeping an eye on Chaos Galaxy 2, hoping it comes to Switch so I can scratch my 4X itch on the go. Okay, yeah, I've got a Switch, but a Nintendo Switch, but I hardly ever use it. Actually, I've got it in my. When I had to a couple of months ago, I had to go down to Melbourne, and I packed it in my bag for that, and it's actually still in there. I haven't even taken it out, so I've got to play more of that. Drydock Dreams is in saying, and for some for extent nebulous HW, I'm not sure what that is, and Capital Command were Navy games in space after all. Thought they were a pretty strong water-based vibe going on. Yeah, I agree with you, actually. And then also saying, obviously speaking for your own cult here, but between modern naval warfare, sea power, and new Rule the Waves 3 add-on, thought that actual serious boats would catch your interest more than they eventually do. It's sort of one of those things where I really love it, I've got to say. It's one of those things I've loved the Age of Sail. I thoroughly enjoy that genre. When did I stop playing those games religiously? I used to play the early Harpoon games, so I used to love them. I used to play all the Age of Sail games. I think it was during those where there was one of them in the Age of Sail games was so well modelled with the actual of loading the different shot into your boats, and you had all these different sorts of boats and things. It wasn't very good graphics, but it sort of allowed you to really get the experience of loading quickly and trying to sort of get like the different type of shot to then be able to do the broadsides, and it also had the positioning. I think that was a turn-based game, or almost like a WeGo style game. I forget what it was called. Maybe it was just Age of Sail. Something about Hearts of Iron or something. Anyway, it was a long time ago. But then after that, they started bringing in these really cut down real-time games. Like it was all about real-time, and all of the finesse went out of them. And I stopped playing them at that point. So I've never gone back to them. So all these sorts of great games that are sort of more real-time fleet combat or ship combat games, I love the idea of them. I just haven't really gone back and played them seriously. Hi David, how are you going? David is actually from Microprose, who we were just talking about the sim games and things like that. And of course, the top of the sim games in my list has been is the one that is coming from Microprose, which is Silent Depth 2. So looking forward to that one. So that's going to be that one does look awesome. Actually, looks awesome. So and of course, Microprose really is for a lot of the simulation type games. They're right up there. So anyway, let's just go back to where we were in the chat. But no, you are right. I should have more of them on the list. Again, some of them become so complex that I can't really do recordings of them. And that's why I've sort of steered away from which ones did you mention through there? Modern naval warfare, and there's I think there's a command game as well, and I haven't bothered picking them up because I know if I start recording them, it'll be videos and videos before I really get started. Even Rule the Waves 3 was a hard one to try to find a way to play that one relatively quickly. I really do enjoy them though, I've got to say. I absolutely love them. So as we just go back down through, we've got so Dapper Fox has just joined. Where's the link for the rules? This is very nice free lease. If you just go to Steam and go to Field of Glory 2 Medieval and just go to discussions under Field of Glory 2 Medieval, I think you'll find it for the Ancients there as well. And at the moment, it's the top pinned comment. So the Field of Glory Ancients and Medieval 3.1 tabletop rules. But that's definitely worth downloading, just as an incredibly rich resource of historical referencing of different armies throughout the ancients, all the way through to the Middle Ages. Even just those book list books are definitely worth grabbing, particularly for free. Like, this is unbelievable. Actually, I'm so disappointed in you guys for not actually letting me know about this earlier. But when I saw it, I thought, oh wow, this is awesome. So I thought I've got to lead off with that because that is really really amazing that they've actually released that one. I don't know. I forget when I'd seen a reference of one somewhere. That's why I sort of had seen some of the reference material on a website that was put out, by the devs at one stage. But that was years ago, like maybe sort of like 8 or 9 years ago, when I was first getting into Field of Glory, and it was. But yeah, now that they've actually released those, I'm surprised that they've released. I guess it's just to get more people involved. So anyway, it's great. It's awesome for us. Awesome. So used to in the Field of Glory game, Hail Seas are both great rule sets. Hope we see a Black Powder edition sometime soon. Yeah, I know that they're working on something. I've got no idea what it is though. It's sort of I don't like getting inside information I'm not allowed to share, and so I tend to. That's why I often don't do betas. Like I don't like to be part of a beta that I can't actually talk about, and so I do get some of them occasionally if I'm really passionate about it. But I don't like going into betas where I'm not all that passionate and then can't talk about it as well. So Dapper Foxing, when Ancients came out, the rules were almost 1 to 1 or 1.1, is it? I remember. So suspect that there's pretty much the same, but I've never read Medieval. Yeah, it's Medieval sort of like it wasn't called Field of Glory Ancients back in the day. I don't think. I think it was just Field of Glory because they went through like the early Medieval was certainly covered in the original rule set, from what I can recall. Because the first computer game actually had part medieval in it, and so that's really where I got involved with Field of Glory. That's when I started looking for other reference because it was such a great game. So Tim Games is saying I bought Shadow Empire. Safe to say I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's fun chaos. Yes, it's a great game. It's that's one of those games where it is on my list. If I go back to the list, Shadow Empire. I'll just go back and reset these. Click on OK. Shadow Empire doesn't rate high in my list, or not as high as people sort of would expect it to be. Where are we with Shadow Empire? Way back down in here, sort of in the middle of the list, really. And the reason that it doesn't is because of the user experience, the user experience UI. Even though I find it good, like for what it is, like for a war game, it's actually really, really good. But for a modern game, it makes it hard. And so there's that aspect, and also even the gameplay aspect. I rated that one sort of average or average-ish. I mean, 5 is average, really. So it's 7.5 is still good. 9 is great, so I didn't rate anything higher than 9 with anything. So with my scoring for Shadow Empires was that the overall user experience and user interface is awkward. So that's why it's difficult for people to get into the game. And so that's why I kept these. I didn't just go with my rating of what I was most looking forward to playing, which is this is top of the tree, but I did. So this one pulled the score right down. This one here in particular, and also the gameplay, because the gameplay isn't intuitive completely. Like it doesn't really tell you. You should be checking out what your models are, what your leaders are, all that sort of stuff. It doesn't really cover that, so it's not intuitive to play it. It's like, for example, if you play Age of Wonders, for example, Age of Wonders 4. All of these score highly, because and I don't know if I should have Age of Wonders should be back down towards this end. I think I may have been a bit. I think I've listened to a lot of what you guys were saying, so I didn't score it as high as what I would have. I mean, we look at things like Distant Worlds 2, for example. I find that the user interface with that, I really really quite like it, and it does present things to you. So it's not onerous to learn, even though it may appear that it is. So anyway, that's the sort of scoring systems that I actually had through there. Where is Age of Wonders? Is it even? Oh, there it is there. Oh, okay. Look, it's. I rated the next DLC, which I'm not looking forward to. That's why this one scores so poorly. In terms of Age of Wonders 4 itself, that should be a 9, to be honest, and that would then drag this score up a fair bit. You can see there that the actual overall ratings, 8.625 is the highest that I've got for KeeperRL. and yeah, and then sort of down from there really. So it's sort of like they're all pretty close. Like the actual scoring, a lot of them sort of score around the same level overall. Anyway, I've just read David's comment there. So there's what about a Field Glory medieval tutorial? I really could use some teaching. I'm very bad at the game. It's funny. I started doing one actually. I've got I set up my own. I started making maps to show the different things, and I started recording some of it, but I just didn't get very far into it, and that was a couple of years ago. So I still have all of that stuff saved somewhere on my computer, I think, to be able to then go and do it. I think it was actually now I'm wondering if I did do that. I mean, if I've still got it, I'll fire it up. We'll fire it up and have a look. Actually, I'll just read a few more of the comments before we do that one. Where did we get up to? So Team Games are saying Shadow Empire, we did that one. And so Cassie's in saying I can't come close to having the patience to play a tabletop miniatures game. Never mind painting them, but I really love seeing them at conventions. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm in the same boat, to be honest. I'm in the same boat. I've never played a tabletop game. I'm the sort of person who would have, basically back in the day, but I just I didn't know about them until I was sort of beyond it, really, like in the sense that I was well and truly into computer games at that point. So I sort of I envy the people who can play like the Warhammer games and stuff like this, and and do get a chance to sort of do that, because I never have. I sort of think now it is like what you're saying. I don't have the patience to do it anymore, but I think I would have back in the day. I would have enjoyed doing the painting and all sorts of stuff, I think. So Drydoxin saying, probably the eponymous Age of Sail. Yeah, I don't know which one it was. It was Hearts of Iron rings a bell, but I think Hearts of Iron, I think I was disappointed with that one, but only mildly. And that was the start of the decline for those sorts of games. Blackpool Punk Events are saying life by you. I'm not sure what that means. Cassie's saying I'm sad that Stargate is RTS. Grew up watching the TV series and would love a faithful turn-based game based on it. Battlestar Galactica. Stargate is a Commandos game. It's one, it's funny, I should actually talk about this because it's not in my list. It's not actually even in my most anticipated list, so I didn't even include it. And I should have, in hindsight, because I just completely forgot about it. And the reason it went off my radar was that Commando games always disappoint me. Like they always, in the end, I think, it's just a puzzle game at the end. Like it's just basically scripted, it's a puzzle game. And so I don't rate them very highly. And with Stargate, I was thinking, how are you going to make a Commandos game that's going to be, be able to compete with, which one is it? Shadow Gambit. Like, how can you compete with Shadow Gambit, The Cursed Crew? Because that is by far the best Commandos game. That I don't think anyone's going to get close to that game. And like that does it so well. And I just thought, coming out at a similar time, because Shadow Gambit's only just come out recently, and this is by far the best Commando style game that I've ever seen. Like where you sort of got but it's still a puzzle game because you're just going through mission after mission where they're curated missions. But having a look at other people playing the Stargate game, I was actually really impressed with it. Like it's got a lot going for it, and it is pausable. It's an active pause, so for me that works fine. Like it's sort of, I wouldn't even put it in like as it's an RTS game that you can't actually, you still stop and think and do different things with it. So I was actually impressed with it. I thought it was actually I thought Stargate, I should have had it in my list because it would have rated. But I didn't actually put it in there. I completely forgot about it. That's my fault with that one, I guess. Eddie Ballgame saying, hi Daz and group. I have recently revisited KeeperRL based on your recent review video. It's an awesome game. KeeperRL, if you haven't played it, is Dungeon Keeper. So it's a roguelike Dungeon Keeper. But what he did was he started off with the Dungeon Keeper and then extended it into an overworld game as well. And so you build your forces, then go and raid the overworld as an actual army. So it's not abstracted at all. Like it is, like you actually take your force. You can build little scout groups that go off and check out what's happening with different dungeons. And one of the other awesome things about KeeperRL is that, this is going into, the reason this is on the top of my list, this is actually going into full release this year. And so KeeperRL, we'll be doing more content on this, by the way, because it's just so cool. But KeeperRL, you can then, when you finish off your dungeon, you can then basically put it into the server and have it downloadable so people can actually download players' dungeons and then try to break into them. And it's really, really interesting. What he's done over the years with KeeperRL, it's by far the best Dungeon Keeper style game, much better than the original Dungeon Keeper. It's just an incredible game, incredible game. He's got Z levels in it now. There's all sorts of different villages and stuff, and even the overworld is random each time you play it. It's just incredibly well done. It's amazing. But still in a roguelike sort of fashion. Again, it's turn-based, with that fully turn-based, this one, whereas the original Dungeon Keeper wasn't. That was real-time. So yeah, and I find this just such a good game. So that's why it's on the very, very top of the list when I was rating it, because it just plays so well. What are we up to? So we've got so KeeperRL, absolutely. Does it deserve to be the #1 game of 2024? Probably not. But just when I was thinking, it's got a great user interface and experience. Replayability is through the ceiling. It's just so different every time. Actually, it's not super different every time you play it, because you still tend to set up your own dungeons the same way, but you do have different ways of playing the game, different starts and things. So yeah, it's an amazing game, KeeperRL. Now where do we go? So we've got so Drydock is in saying that was the early system based on John Tiller systems of WeGo, turns mimicking real time. Yeah, so Casey's saying John Tiller games are still going strong. Eagle Strike got a great visual update last week. Okay, I haven't actually been keeping up with the John Tiller type games. I really enjoyed them as well back when they were coming out. It's like there's some amazing. That was a must buy, but I don't even know what Eagle Strike is. So I must have stopped playing those games back at that other time. Ruben's saying Orbital Unix Sniper. I have no idea what that is. And with David's comment there about the Fog Medieval tutorial, let's have a look. I'll just open her up, because I actually haven't opened Field of Glory Medieval for a long period of time, actually. But I'll be doing a lot more of that this coming year because of the kingdoms. Actually, where is it? That will be Field of Glory 2 Medieval. There it is. Yeah, so I did start to, because the easiest way to learn the game is actually to do what I've done here with my own little tutorial, and I think I built it in here. So there's patch notes that have come out. Probably the patch notes saying, "Hey, quickly grab these documents and these books that we've now made freely available for you." So now if we go into where did I put it? Was it under battles? Just go back. I forget where I've actually done it. It's not under the tutorial. Battles, campaigns, maybe. Nope, I don't have it there. So I was going to put it into here. Maybe I didn't do it. The editor. Yeah, campaigns ChatTactic. So I've started to build it there. That was to actually make a tutorial series. If I select that one, maybe I didn't actually get to the point where it was playable. I know I certainly started to build it all up, but this is actually like using the editor is a really interesting way to actually test things if you're sort of trying to figure out how to play Field of Glory 2. Yeah, so we've got these different scenarios. I'll just see if this one, actually no, it's not going to do it. I'll just go into here. I'll just select these and just see what I ended up doing. This is a long time ago. long time ago, but I don't think I ever recorded anything for this. Did I do anything? Yeah, so I was setting up how different groups fight against each other. Armoured spearmen, armoured spearmen. Oh, they are all armoured spearmen. Okay, so that's not really going to be it. Did I do anything else? I don't know what I was doing with that one, but I'll just go back to the other one. Go back. Now I've forgotten how to do that with all this stuff. How do we quit? How do we quit out? Is it this one? That's the AI. Exit the editor. I'll just try it again. I'll just select it and see if the second one is has got what I was setting up, because I had set up a very intricate collection of scenarios. So maybe it's this one here. Let's see if this one's got it. Because I was going to do a full-on how different things get triggered, particularly with cavalry, because that's one of the hardest things. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, so I had all these different scenarios that I had built in the editor to show different combat as to how things move, how different attacks go in as well. So I forget what I was going to do with these, but I had this all planned, like what happens if you got them surrounded. And I had, again, two different ways of doing it and I forget why I did it this way. This one here is if you're in rough terrain, like what happens if you're, like if one army's attacking into rough terrain, what if both armies, like if you're attacking from rough terrain, back out into here. So I had like heaps, but I did one for cavalry as well, and I don't know where I put it. This was the new stuff newish stuff that had come in with the various setups for the artillery wagons, but I forget how these actually were working. I forget what I was doing, to be honest. Certainly different scenarios all the way through. Yeah, and I didn't really sort of show the... yeah, I did one for cavalry though too, and I don't know where that is. Because the cavalry was quite interesting. What happens when a cavalry hits a stream, for example, when it's retreating, things like that. So really interesting things like that. So I did start to prepare for a tutorial, but I didn't actually get it done. But the editor is very, very cool to be able to quickly just go in and set something up and just see what actually happens. So it's a good way to actually learn the game. But yeah, I think with Medieval Kingdoms, I'll definitely be doing a tutorial series on that. I'm in the middle of recording one for Dominions at the moment. And actually one thing I did forget to do as well, like it was being pointed out on my Discord, that people were saying, hey, like what's the go with the Age of Wonders 4 tutorial series, because there's a whole lot of unpublished videos in there, and I thought it was something to do with the hack that I had, but it wasn't. It was actually my own. I just forgot to schedule all these different videos, so I'm scheduling them over the next few days. So there's one that will be coming in about 2 hours time, and then tomorrow there'll be another one, and so I've got about 8 videos in there that I just completely forgot, and that was from about 6 months ago. So anyway, that was before the hack that I didn't actually get those guns going through there. So anyway, I'll just quit the game from that one. But the Fit of Glory is fantastic tabletop style game. Can't wait for Kingdoms to come out. And I can't wait for whatever they're building next. I know that they're building something with that same sort of rule set, and everyone's thinking it has to be a pike and shot style game, which would be pretty cool. Now, where did we get up to? Casey's been saying it's always funny seeing decimals on a 1 to 10 scale. I say use a 1 to 7 Likert scale and stick with the integers. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sorry, Casey. So Sithel's saying, but the next DLC will be awesome. They all have been so far. Now, Sithel is referring to which one? Which game? Not sure which game you're referring to there as well. Yeah, sorry. When I'm talking, I end up I might be 3 games behind by the time I read the comments. Hi Chirank, how you going? Christine's saying, I was looking at past Forex games and Polaris Sector came up. What's your opinion of that game? Your videos were hacked, so I didn't see your content on that. Polaris Sector was an interesting game. I actually really liked it, but it didn't rate that highly. Like if you go into Steam, have a look. Just do an F11 and then go back up. Oops, hang on. Polaris Sector should be, yeah, there it is. That's the DLC. We'll just start there. Polaris Sector, F11. Yeah, Polaris Sector, it's weird. Like it's mixed at 69%, so 70%. So that's about where Distant Worlds 2 is as well. But I've actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice, very much like a board game style computer game. There was a mod for it, a Star Wars mod that was very, very good, if I remember rightly. But yeah, it hasn't been updated for a long time. And I don't know where you get the Star Wars mod for it. But that mod was great. Yes, it's an old game now, but I did enjoy it a lot. It's funny because the developer then went on to other things, like another game, which is they've got a game coming out actually, which is I'll just go back to the store page. Yeah, so Softwareware, I think is what do they do? They've gone straight back to the Slytherin page, but they did ICBM, I think. If we have a bit of a look at that one, I'm pretty sure that they did this one here. Yeah, so they did this game. I didn't like this game at all. So I think I downloaded it, played it for maybe 5 minutes, and then didn't play it after that. I just didn't like I didn't like it. And I hate these sort of games. Like, as you know, just I find them depressing. I guess because they model real things, but they're all real time as well. I know that people really like it. When you look at the actual reviews, like very positive, 92%. These rate really highly, just not for me. And they've got a new game coming out. I should actually mention this as well. Again, not my style of game, but it should have made my list, because I think, actually, if I go back there again to ICBM, it's got Escalation coming this year, and coming soon. Maybe we'll have a look at this one here. So anyway, that's coming in 2024, and that should be a popular and big game, I think, just based on what it's got. So it's a real-time strategy game of global. See, I find them clickfests, and I don't like clickfest games of global warfare and nuclear mass destruction. Issue orders to entire armies and wield the most powerful weapons to ever exist to eradicate your enemies and secure global supremacy. And this one here, I think the escalation is actually more about the actual conventional fighting as well, in sort of more limited roles, from what I can understand, in more limited fields. So this is actually something that is interesting. So that's the same company. So they had a hit like with ICBM. In fact, how many people actually gave reviews for ICBM? yeah, this is healthy for this sort of game. This is actually fairly healthy, and even recent reviews, 95%. So people who play this, I mean, for me, it's just all too fast. I don't like these sort of games where I can't pause. It's just all in real time, and but you're building things up. It certainly had good mechanics about it, but just not my type of game. But that's ICBM. So the other one that they had, the original one was Polaris Sector, which we do have back into here. Just forget where the Polaris Sector did actually. There was a Star Wars mod for it. I'll just do a Google search and we'll see if we can find it. Star Wars, there it is. Yeah, so this is Star Wars Polaris Sector Alliance mod from Mod DB. So this one came out in 2018, basically, this particular mod. And so so this one is still available. This mod will replace many parts of the original content. I really did enjoy this, like a lot. So this has got the ship models. You have to see it. It's an old game now. But this mod was extremely well done. Yeah, this one, if we go and have a look, the person who made this one here, I think he made sort of like the Star Wars, like to like a very simple degree, but I think he made the Star Wars Galaxy. But I think he allowed it to be random as well. Dan Tuin. Pretty sure he's got it in here somewhere, but it was this mod was awesome. Once this mod came out, I couldn't play anything other than this mod with this game. And he did have the different first order. He had the first order fleets. So he had a few different factions in it as well, like of what he'd actually modded into the game. But it's an old game now. Anyway, let's not spend too much time with that one. But that one, if you do get Polaris Sector, there is that mod available. Have a look for it. As I say, I think that this certainly deserved much more than 70%. I was really impressed with this game. It was if we just have a look at a few of the graphics and through here, it had almost like a Sins of the Solar Empire feel about it, I guess would be the closest that I could sort of think of with the way that these sort of did work. Just press F11, I think that'll make it go a bit bigger. There we go. So so it's sort of from memory, like it was a fairly simple sort of building system on the planets. Again, very much like Sins of a Solar Empire. Reminded me a lot of that. Yeah, you'd sort of then build up your various like there's a star base, I think, like that was being sort of designed. So you had basic designs that you would then sort of put together. We'd sort of fill them in. That's right. This is one of the cool things about it was how you built your stations, and so you can see through here, like this was, for example, a 4x4 area for the missile traps. I think that might be what they're putting into there. But you then sort of have to then try to make things work. This is a 3x3. Which I'm not sure what that one is referring to, but so you would actually have like a full design system with what you did with the different ship hulls. See if it'll show other things. These are the different sorts of technologies that you end up having. So this is the research. Research was fairly simple. Again, everything was nice and simple. This, I'm pretty sure there was a random map. I'm pretty sure I can't remember exactly if it was random or not. But and then you'd have like the space combat type thing. I can't remember much about the space combat, to be honest. But it was a cool game. It was a cool game. They did have even koalas in space. Yeah, this is the loadouts where you then fill in these areas with the different types of things that you could then put on the ships. So you had a lot of control over the style of what the ships actually had on them. And then, as I say, going into actual combat with the small craft and things, these are all the interceptors and stuff. But yeah, these graphics were a bit sort of a bit weak, but it was a good game. back in the day. I wouldn't play it now, but it's back then it was actually a really cool game. So anyway, that was where did we get up to? That one there. Yeah, it's looking at past 4X games, and Polaris Sector came up. Yeah, so I really liked it. It was, and there was a comment that someone said, Zarks is saying, remember enjoying watching Daz play Polaris Sector. I really enjoyed it a lot. And Chris is saying, how does Polaris Sector compare to Solaris? Quite different, actually, I would think. It was much more... Polaris Sector was very much about the choke points in space. It was very much about controlling certain points in space, which is what made it such a great game. Like I remember that aspect being, and I don't remember much about it, but I do remember that being a really cool aspect of the actual game itself. So yeah, Polaris Sector though, I really enjoyed it when it first came out. All right, let's actually I'll just leave that one where that is, and we'll just get back into something else. So Eddie Ballgame saying, your series versus Richard York was most instructive. Yeah, for Field of Glory Medieval. Yeah, that was cool actually, because we were when we were doing that, we were going to fight each other with the system. Richard he is by far the best player I've ever seen with Field of Glory. He's incredible with actually sort of being able to play the game, and he's got a really nice way of he doesn't min-max his approach to Field of Glory, and I find that so refreshing with most games. Many people feel they have to find the best way to play a game, and Richard a lot of what he does is fairly instinctive. And so when we were going to be doing like when we were sort of going to be doing stuff against each other, we decided that let's just talk about it when we're playing it rather than actually play against each other. So we'll actually just go through and explain what the thought process is and comment on what each other is doing. And so I learned a lot from Richard as well, because he really is an incredible player with Field of Glory Medieval. But it was one of those things where because we could sit down and because we were talking and it was open, we weren't hiding what we were doing from each other. It was actually, so the results didn't really matter much. Like it was more just about talking about how the game, like what we were thinking, and found that really just from my own perspective, found that really interesting to get his perspective on why he was doing different types of things, and so he knew, for example, when to inject pressure into a fight, which I would have been more cautious, but he knew that okay, we need to get some sort of berserker or something to rush in at this point to then throw everything out of alignment. That's what I vaguely remember from some of the stuff that he did. I was really impressed with that, because it wasn't a matter of okay, the odds are this and the odds are that, and let's do this. It was like okay, now's the time that we do it, and it was so he just had a feel for it, which I really did appreciate. So Zarks is saying, let's play something from the embargo/sponsored list. Yes, so we've got the just go. Oops. Not F10. What am I doing with F10? F11. What is F10? I don't even know what F10 is. Whoops, it was F9. I've screwed this up. Sorry, guys. Okay, I think we're back to where that one was. Yeah. So I do have. There's two in there that or three in there that now should be no longer in that list. Godzilla Voxel Wars. I didn't actually ever play that one. Some of these I don't get to. Dominion 6, that's going to be a week before that one. I can show that one. Field of Glory Kingdoms, I don't know when I'm going to be able to show this one. I don't know what the plans are for Field of Glory Kingdoms. I like what's happening with that one, though. I can say that. Same with Dominions. I'm really impressed with the changes that have come into Dominions. Last Train Home, I really would like to do more content on that one, or even do content on that one. Broken Arrow, I'm in the beta here, but I haven't played it much, to be honest. So I'm sort of I'm holding back on that one because I want that one to be a little bit further along before I start to really get involved in that one. Blood West has now been sort of released, so that should be out of that one. That was a pretty cool game actually. That would be modern-ish, I guess. I'll just throw it in there somewhere. I probably wouldn't play that one much again, so I'll put it down on the next list. So I try to sort of put the games that I'm, I guess, most interested in at the top left of the top left going across of the different categories that I've got in through here. Zephon. Now I haven't tried playing this since the demo came out, and so I'm technically on a beta, but that was a long time ago. So I don't even know if this will fire up for me. I'm not allowed to show it, I don't think. I've even got Distant Worlds back way back then. Yeah, so a lot of these things I haven't even looked at for a long period of time. Like a lot of these have come out by now, like a long time ago. So yeah, there's interesting. All right, so where are we up to with the comments? So Ian Hutchins saying, yeah, KeeperRL messages from the devs are pretty interesting. I haven't read them for a while, but yeah, he's a good guy, really good guy. I still saying puzzle games are not for everyone, but I quite like them. I like them too, I've got to say. I do enjoy puzzle games. In fact, I play I play a hell of a lot of Sudoku, for example, and things like that, which is not really a puzzle game. But the reason I don't record puzzle games, and the reason I don't actually I no longer really play them, is because most games I now play, I don't have time to do anything other than to play with a view to record, and I don't like doing walkthroughs. And so if it's a stock standard style of game, I don't tend to cover it because if it's a puzzle type of game that's got the walkthrough. So things like Wargroove, I would love to cover this because it's such a great game, but I don't really do content for it, even though I love the idea of the game, simply because it's scripted maps. So each map is a puzzle. So that's why when I say puzzle, I'm not denigrating puzzle games. I love them, but I don't play them because they're not random. If there was like a Wargroove roguelike where you had random maps, like for example, Quasimorph, like the Quasimorph for me was like a real revelation, like with just how different things can still be randomized in certain aspects, but still actually generate a story, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, Wargroove 2, I would have loved that to have been with some random content. This is the same, like in the video that I did release about, actually it just came out a couple of hours ago now, but it did actually have another game that was very much like Wargroove, that like very Battle Isle type game, Advanced Wars, and I forget what it's called now, but anyway, that's one that it does look good for this coming year, but again, it's only going to be a puzzle type experience, I think. And yeah, as you said, Stargate it should be an XCOM game. It should be, in one sense, yeah. I agree, actually. And the other thing I was wanting with Stargate was random maps. But I want that with every game. I think developers now, just whenever I say, does it got random maps? They just think, they just must roll their eyes and think, yeah, no, it doesn't. No one's interested in random maps. I think I'm the only one that is right into random maps as much as I am. But anyway, that's. But I was hoping that Stargate would have, I guess, more diverse worlds to go to, if you know what I mean. Like that was actually something I thought that would be a criteria, but but that's not. It is all scripted. Sizzle saying Age of Wonders 4. Not sure what you're referring to that one before, weren't you? Oh, the next DLC will be awesome. They've been so far. Yeah, see, I don't think the next DLC for Age of Wonders 4 is going to be all that awesome. And I'll show you why. Let me explain why. I do have a reason for this. Just go F11 again. And Age of Wonders 4. So, now I'll just stop that from playing. All right, so with Age of Wonders 4, when we go and have a look at the DLCs, you see there the price of the DLC. It goes to like $15. This is Australian dollars. It's $15.30 basically. So Dragon Dawn was an awesome DLC that came out with the dragons. So it didn't come out with any new factions, but it did come out with the actual dragon rulers and a few other changes as well with the tomes. So it had enough content to be really interesting. And so for me that was good because it felt good, like having the dragons in the game. Empire and Ashes then brought in a whole other different faction, and so a whole lot of other different things that were quite difficult for them to bring into the game. So that one is why that one costs a lot more, because a lot more content, even though it doesn't feel like it, a lot more content came in with that one through there. Primal Fury is designed to be another version of Dragon Dawn. which is sort of what's going to come. And we'll have a look at this one. And the reason I rated this one so lowly is because I wasn't really interested in this one through here. So I'd expect this to be another $15 one, I would assume. And then we've got the Eldritch Realms is going to be another big one like Empire and Ashes. And so I'm really looking forward to this one. So when this one comes out, I'm sort of half looking forward to it. If we have a look at each one of these, so keeping in mind, so small, large is the plan of the DLCs. So no new factions coming with Primal Fury. So that also then makes it, oh yeah, okay, that's not too bad. There's no Beastmen or anything like that coming with it. But if we go and have a look at this one through here, and I'll just that's just the normal Age of Wonders. I thought they may have actually had other content. So this is just, there's no actually other graphics into this other side. So when we read about this one, there's not a hell of a lot of information. So we have to go back to thinking, okay, well, there's not going to be any new factions, so we can discount that. There's not going to be, it's going to be basically sort of like a bit of a cheap DLC, if you know what I mean. So channel nature spirits in the Age of Wonders 4 Primal Fury content pack. So create races using new beastly forms and primeval culture. So it's talking about a culture there, primeval culture. Maybe they have actually introduced a different sort of, like, but then like, does that mean it's like, is it going to be a different sort of culture than barbarian? Like, it's not, they're not going to be adding in, like, I think that create races using new beastly forms, that, I don't know if that's just graphic, like within the existing races. New terms of magic, tap nature's hidden powers. Yep, so that's, and the Fey realms. That for me, I thought, oh wow, to get a Fey faction would be awesome. But that's not a faction, because they're not going to be bringing a faction. I don't think they will be bringing a faction with this particular DLC. Your surroundings contain new forms of wildlife, creatures, and bountiful resources. So what I think we get with this one is beasts. I think we just get animals, like different, an animal pack coming into this one. And so create races using new beastly forms. I'm thinking that may be something like there's a transformation, like a beast transformation, a bit like Draconians, which the Draconians did come with the Dragon DLC. So that was actually, so that one sort of came in at that time. So that's all I can think of, is that we end up with some sort of like beast transformation. But even then, it's not going to be, I don't know what's, it might add horns to the top of them. Who knows? And so I don't know. For me, it doesn't sound all that interesting, like this particular one. So I'm expecting. My expectations are very, very low in this particular one. So if we go back and have a look at the next one, which I am looking forward to. So this is why when I rated it low because of this one, because of my own personal preference. Now, if I can just press F11 again, I forget the keyboard shortcuts to go back. I know how to go back through the tabs, but not to go back through the Alt left arrow. Okay, I'll remember that one. So that one's Primal Fury. We just go back out again to Age of Wonders. Get rid of that. Where's our list? The Eldritch Realms, again, is an area that I'm not super looking forward to, because I didn't like the shadow creatures from Age of Wonders 2, which I think is what this actually is. And so if we read this one, again, I'm not overly looking forward to this one, although this one I think will be much better than the Beast one. So Age of Wonders 4 Eldritch Realms expansion opens portals to realms filled with arcane marvels and unspeakable horrors. New forces threaten the rule of the Godir of Magehaven. New story content, strange monsters, new racial forms, magical realms and locations bring a new dimension to the game. So for me, that actually is talking about bringing in those sort of sci-fi space creatures that they had in Age of Wonders 2. And I didn't like them in Age of Wonders 2. There was a mod you could bring in to get rid of them, and so they were modded out. They weren't as bad as the halflings from Age of Wonders 3, but they were still up there. Hi, Battle Mode, how you going? I'm saying, wow, 84 people watching. I don't get to see the numbers. I sort of see them at the end, but not when I'm actually doing the stream. Okay, so that's now. Where did we go through there? We've got. Where did I get it down to? Yeah, okay, age 1 to 4. So, yep, so Zark's saying I remember watching Des playing Polaris Sector. I did enjoy it in the day. I played a lot of it. And so how does Polaris Sector compare to Solaris? Solaris is a better game. It's a more modern game. Solaris is broader. Polaris Sector, as I say, is more board gamey than Stellaris, and it's very much about the choke points, which Stellaris has got as well, but it's different. I would say Stellaris is a much more polished game. I haven't played either game for a while though. Sacred Boy is saying, "Sup, Daz?" So I wanted to say thank you for introducing me to Shadow Empire. I got it a few days ago and absolutely love it. We did that one before. I must have bounced down to that one when it first came up. And I am Ampersender saying, "Hi from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I love your recommendations. We share the same taste of games." See, that's cool. I think it's not a massive group of people that have the same sort of taste, but there's a fair few of us. So anyway, welcome. So we've got the same bit away. Have I missed much? No, not much. Okay, so Atomer is saying I've also started Shadow Empire by watching ChatTactic's videos. I really love it too. Thanks. Yeah, it's a great game actually. Do you like chess, Daz? Says Chris. I did back as a kid. It's funny. I'm quite competitive. I've got a fairly competitive nature, and one of my uncles actually was teaching me how to play chess, and I don't know how old I was, maybe 10 or 11 or something like that. And so he was teaching me how to play it, and I thought he'd let me win. and he wouldn't let me win, and so I think I played 3 games with him, like the first time that we were sort of doing it all, and each time he absolutely smashed me, and I don't know, I guess a lot of people would then think, oh, I hate this, I'm not going to do it, but I got so fired up, and I bought books on it, I got hold of books anyway. I've still got some actually up on my shelf there, like just ways of doing the openings and stuff like this. And so the next time I'm caught up with him, like it was probably 6 months or a year later, I smashed him. So I quite enjoyed it, and it was and so I got good enough to be able to beat average people. And then when I was like in my late teens, I travelled around Australia for a couple of years, and with a group of friends, and we used to play chess like at lunchtime or something like that. When we were at the beach, we'd sort of when we had nothing to do, we'd just play chess, and that was incredibly good fun. Like, because these guys were they were very good at it, and so the game would go for ages and ages, and it was we were just teenagers, but it was really, really cool. And then eventually I got, and like even my wife's, one of my wife's my in-laws friends were they had a friend that was a real keen chess player, and they wanted. They knew that I played chess, and so they wanted me to beat him. But we had a really good game as well. So I remember these really good games. But this guy's son knew a guy who was the Victorian champion chess player, and I played him, and that was unbelievable to actually sort of play someone at that level. It was incredible actually, and that was sort of one of those things where I got absolutely destroyed, like in the actual game itself, but just talking with him about why he did things, and again, it was all instinctive. Like everything he did, he actually, I still remember it because he actually said, when we were playing, I said, how are you, why are you making these moves? Because he was making really fast moves, and I said, how are you not having to think it through? And he said he just recognises the patterns, and that always stuck with me. He just it was not he wasn't analysing the pieces. He was just looking at patterns on the board, and that was what he actually was. And so he was like these, fairly. He was right up there, and it was incredible to play someone like that. So, I haven't played chess for an awfully long time, but I did enjoy it a lot. I mean, now I probably wouldn't play it, but yeah, chess was something I did enjoy growing up with. I like board games. My whole family likes board games, which is great. So we often when we get together, we often do play different board games. Particularly my eldest daughter has always got like different board games, the new ones that have come out, and my nephews as well, they're right into it as well. So whenever I travel, I can go down and see the rest of the family. One nephew in particular has just got heaps and heaps of different, these incredible board games that I've never heard of, but they're so much fun. So anyway, so chess has now been put aside, but board games have sort of taken over when we all get together. Eddie Board Game saying, for those that like puzzle games, try Master of Puppets. Not bad. I've never heard of that one. So Sacred Boy saying, yeah, totally recommend Quasimorph. Great game, that one. Subical saying you should give Mutant Year Zero: The Road to Eden a shot. It's a turn-based strategy that's very much present each map as a puzzle. Okay, I'm going to jot that one down. There's another couple that came out actually over the year before actually. I'll just write that one down. Sorry, I can only do one thing at a time. But the which one was it? It was Dungeon something. It was a it may be in here or maybe in here. But there was one that I thought was incredibly good because it was a roguelike puzzles, so they're always a bit different. You could get easier runs and more difficult runs. It was under fantasy. I don't know how far down I've actually put it. Crawl Tactics. This one here, I loved that the year before last. Like, so 2022, that was in my top 5 games of the year. And that was actually a roguelike puzzle type game. A bit FTL-like as well. But that was actually, I was really impressed with that game. So, where do we get up to? So we've got, sorry guys. Okay, so Casey is saying, is Task Force Admiral Volume 1 on your list? I'm not a RTS fan, but it's no, see, they're the games that I just have been avoiding because I know I like them, and I'll then just stop. I'll stop recording if it's too involved. I'll just play it and not record. So it said hi to Battlemade before. Hi Victor as well. Battlemade's saying it's kind of confusing what they're trying to do with Age of Wonders 4 factions. Sounds to me like another skin of your race and then another culture. Yeah, I think there will be a new culture, and that will be the alien culture from Age of Wonders 2. I'm pretty sure. So not super looking forward to that one. So that's why I did have Age of Wonders 4 rated fairly low for this year. I was also trying to keep those favourites of mine down a little bit as well. I'll rate them really hard, just so they don't feature. Even though I'm really looking forward to playing Age of Wonders 4, any excuse to play Age of Wonders 4, I'll take. Casey's saying, I really wish Age of Wonders 4 would come out on the iPad. The specs easily support it, and my commute from New York to Annapolis would be much more fun. Not sure how far that is, but it sounds like a long distance. So saying werewolves. Not sure where you saw that one, sorry. Gary Oak saying, hi Daz and Chat, I hope the next DLC for Age of Wonders 4 is accompanied by a patch that makes the cultures more unique. They're too similar for me. Yes, they are. They have already addressed that. I don't know when the last time you played Age of Wonders 4 is, so I'll just fire it up. Any excuse to fire it up. But what they have done is, even when you play against random AIs, in fact, I'll show you the one I've been playing on, God, where was it? Twitch, I think. Yeah, I've been playing on Twitch. I'm sort of now to the point where I should be able to win the game, but it was, so I won't be recording this one anymore, which is a bit of a shame. Like, this is one where we've got Draconian Transformation on Lizardmen, but this one here has started off, if we go into new game, choose your destination, and just pick any old thing really, I'll just pick that one through there, just go select, and next. Your journey starts here. So if we go to create faction, so what people were concerned about, I think, with this was that that each faction had their own traits, and so you can see through here, like, they now actually have a trait system which is actually better. So if we go, for example, like look at humans, what they've got is you've got trait points. If I go and unselect these, you can still do what people were concerned about. You've got 5 trait points. The actual factions now come in with specific trait points allocated to them. So they do actually have their own set of trait points. But if you now want to be doing something where you end up with, for example, spider mounts was considered a really overpowered way to go. But this now costs 3 points. So you can't used to only be 2 as well. You get spider mounts and something else, and all of a sudden you can do all sorts of wonderful things. But now with the point system, it means that you can you have to then pick and choose a little bit more when you actually do select them. Also, the AI isn't crazy when it actually, even if you tell it to generate factions for your game, it actually does a good job of it. And I'll show you what I mean. If I cancel out of this and go back out of all of this stuff. So yes, it can still happen, but it doesn't happen in reality. Like it's quite interesting, the actual factions now, the way that they do sort of work. So you've got control over that yourself, so you can still override. Now, the way I play it is I still try to make it thematic. You can be unthematic, and you can make super strong halflings if you want, but the game won't make that for you. Like if we go in and, for example, if I just continue where I was up to. And if we have a look at the different factions that are around, and I guess the like the faction that I chose, I just chose the actually, where would we see them? I've got some units that are up this way. So these are some of the different factions that we actually have available. So this is one of my factions. This is a faction that we then took over. So the actual Reptilian Lords, I'll just see if I can get there. Yep, there we go. So Reptilian Lords in through this other side. Now that with the building of it, it's really quite unique with the setup of the game. The setups are so wildly different, the way that with whatever you do choose to sort of grab for it. And so this one we have already the Draconian transformation, and then we've got a few other transformations which we get, like that can be applied across the board. And this is, I guess, one of the things where it is a little bit, every time you come up against them, it's sort of like that feels the same with these transformations. Would almost be better to have the option to turn transformations off. Or even, just minor transformations. I think that would actually aid the replayability of the game. As just thinking about it, like that's because when you do come up against these transformations, they tend to be what dominates the actual faction itself. So maybe that's something, yeah, as you say, like in a DLC, sorry, in an update, that could be something as an option. I would play that with them turned off. I would absolutely play with them turned off. But these are the traits. So, so cold-blooded, for example. So I did change out the poisonous aspect of the lizard men to get and put in instead tough, just to get extra defense. So I sort of wanted to have like stronger lizard men. But again, it sort of felt pretty much the same. But even if I go, like this is a random faction of halflings in through this other side. If I go and select these guys. These all belong to the raiding little ones, and so these are elusive, quick reflexes, and light-footed, which all feel fine for halflings. So these are pretty cool. But again, they do have a steel skin in this case, and they've got their own sort of cultural aspects as well. A lot of the other factions that we've got, like these are. This one here is an interesting one because I really quite like this one. These are elven shadow dwellers. These are actually elves which are not typical. And so these feel very unthematic in terms of what you expect from elves. If we just go back through. So these have got, for example, they're keen-sighted. You think, yep, tick, that's an elvish trait. They've got arcane focus, tick, that's an elvish trait. But what they did was that they randomised one of the others. And so these are underground elves, which again doesn't fit the overall theme. But from replayability-wise, and this was randomly generated, this is actually a pretty cool way for it to go. So I quite like the idea of these. Some of the others that we've got as well, like these through here, these are goblins, goblin industrialist. So underground adaptation again, so this one did start underground. Hideous stench in through here as well, which is a goblin trait. And so the underground adaptation is not typically the goblin traits that they have. Like this one here is gone. I think we can sort of look at that one. This one here is raging minions. These are again goblins, and so these have got the sneaky trait and the hideous stench, but these don't start underground. So for me, it feels like it's tweaked, but the thing where it does, I guess, get in the way is these transformations. So maybe that, I don't know what you think, if that would be something, to sort of to change that one a little bit. But yeah, certainly I'm looking forward to it. I'm just not overly looking forward to changes that I'm seeing coming for it. This one here is adaptable, overwhelm tactics, quick reflexes. This is for the rats. They've got Earthkin as their minor transformation. But it's again, I love playing the game. It's tactical battles. There's nothing better than the tactical battles from Age of Wonders. People do say they go for too long, so they're too involved, but I like them. So that's certainly something that I do enjoy. Just exit the game. But anyway, so yes, I can see why people say that, but I don't think it's fully fair for them to say that, if you know what I mean. Yeah, for the cultures that are too similar. For me, they're not. They are once you start to get those transformations. So, yep, Battle Mode saying, yep, Gary, I completely agree. So I can see why people say it, but I do think they have addressed it largely with that point system. But yeah, they could still go further. Sissel's back, and so Battleman's saying, I need to play the newer versions though. I heard it's better than it was on. Yes, City, it's absolutely, but nothing has changed fundamentally. So I'm sure it's going to do. It's going to do much for me still. Yeah, look. Well, I think it does. I think that what people were concerned about was that you could make anything out of anything, and you still technically can, but the computer won't. And so when we played that when I was playing that one, it was actually I chose to get random factions, but they're still thematic. Like they're still, in playing against them, it felt like when I come up against the goblins, it felt like I was coming up against goblins, and when I come up against the rats, it felt like I was coming up against like a vermintide group. You know, like it would actually, it played uniquely different each time, each one of them. There's a human group that we had to contend with, and like humans are they can often sort of sway one way or another. But that was an undead necromancer powered human group, and that worked very, very well. They were a dark faction, and so it just I don't know. Like for me, I find it incredibly immersive with what they've done. Still saying sci-fi creatures. It's sort of like Eldritch is what they've called it, the Eldritch realms. Now, Eldritch can mean Lovecraftian as well, and that wouldn't be super bad. But then you've got the Toadkin group in there anyway, which sort of is a bit like the sea creatures from Lovecraftian stuff. But the Eldritch, just want to think of what they were in Shadow Empire 2. I didn't like them. The Shadow Realm. It was called Shadow Magic was the actual release for it was Age of Wonders 2 Shadow Magic, because they brought in these creatures, and they were the weakest part of that, and there was someone that modded them out and put another faction in instead, and that was really, really good. But yeah, the Eldritch, they didn't have a full Eldritch faction in the in Age of Wonders 3, but they did actually have some of the beasts, some of the worm creatures, like the shock serpents, whatever they were. Like they were certainly Eldritch, but it'd be interesting to see what it brings. But I just hope that it's not going to be. I hope it's not going to bridge the sci-fi too much, like what it did in Age of Wonders 2. So where are we? Sorry guys, I'm still a fair way behind in the chat. God, I'm going to have to probably skip ahead a bit here, guys. I'll just skim. Battlemate saying Polaris Sector has better combat than Solaris. There we go. Planetfall should have sci-fi creatures, however. Yes, it should do. Yes, it's the same with video games. At certain points, it's just muscle memory. Yep. So High Variant Games, board games is pretty much my life, says Marcus. Okay, that's cool. It really is cool. It's sort of one of those things where there's such good board games around. You know, like it's just amazing. So Battlemate saying, not sure you'll be bothered with Mutiny Year Zero Daz. It's a static map like Firaxis XCOM, as far as I remember. Oh, okay. If it doesn't have random content, I tend to bypass them a bit. It's apparently a great game though. But yeah, look, if the mechanics are good enough, I'd have a look. So Casey's in saying, come on, you guys, upvote this chat. Thanks for that. Banksy is in saying, I'm new to grand strategy games, have only played Paradox titles, but they don't scratch the itch. I feel like some mechanics have an abstract approach, and some stats and modifiers don't even matter. Yes, you're completely right. So what you are looking for is more simulation games, I think, and that's actually where if you like the idea of grand strategy games but don't like the paradox model of abstraction, then there's certain games that coming up that you want to avoid, and there's certain games coming up that you want to embrace. And so I did do a game, actually on my list as well. Actually, if I go back into here, I'll just press F11 again. So with this is the list of games that are coming up this year. But the way I sort of was looking at that aspect, because I think that's actually fairly important, was that I did actually specify some games as more sim style, even though they're like 4X. So 4X games that are either, if it's a board game style 4X game, which is what Paradox build, then you end up essentially with something where you do lose that. You do lose the intricacy of a simulation. So and I guess games that are coming up, like for example, Field of Glory Kingdoms, will also be very much in that sort of mold where it won't feel like it. I don't think that'll scratch the itch in that sort of sense either. But for me, like when I think about I always try to classify. I love, for example, Galactic Civilizations 4, and I also love Distant Worlds 2. And so they're two very different types of space games, but one of them is board game, which is more Gal Civ, and you can see I've got a tick there for Gal Civ Warlords DLC, and for Distant Worlds 2, it's more of a simulation game. So the aspect of playing Distant Worlds 2, it's a very different mindset. So they're still 4X games, they're both in that 4X category. So if I actually sort by this, if I turn off false and just do the 4X. So the 4X games, these are the ones that what I consider to be the empire building space slash 4X games. And so the board game style games are going to be the ones that abstract things. So whether it's high abstraction, that'll be ticked off with board games. So Gal Civ 4 Warlords. So that's, it's similar to Stellaris, I guess, in that sort of sense as well. Yield Fall of Rome as well. It's got a board game feel about it, but that does look fun. But that is very much board game-ish. Civilization 7 should be coming out. That should be a pretty big one. I didn't actually classify that as either one or the other, but some of them I have. Like Solum Infernum, again, 4X game, but still going to be very much like a board game. Distant Worlds 2 is the first of the actual simulation type games. Actually, I've got that both as a sim game for Field of Glory Kingdoms and a board game, because it does have aspects of both. And BOC Birth of Cultures, I didn't rate that all that highly, but it was that's another sim type game. But yeah, it's finding the Paradox games, like Age of Wonders is very different to the typical Paradox titles, because it does have the full-blown tactical battles, and Paradox titles tend to abstract that. They tend to abstract the battles. I think that, I think Field of Glory Kingdoms, the more I think about it, the more I think that this is going to scratch that itch for people as well, because the battle system in Field of Glory Kingdoms that's going to be coming with that one is going to be, at least you'll be fighting the battles, and you have to actually plan for the battles. So you'll be building units to fight the battles, and you can then also, if you're wanting to, take it out into that tabletop Field of Glory 2 Medieval, and actually play it in there and play the battles out in that particular way as well. So that will have a lot of interest, I think, Field of Glory Kingdoms, but I'm not sure when it comes out. Anyway, I don't know if that's helped or not. Mark was saying that's why I'm so keen on promoting Stellaris Nexus, because it's a digital board game more than anything else. I still haven't played it. I do have it in there from what I can sort of see. I've rated it pretty highly, but I haven't actually got to it. Actually, that should be a board game, shouldn't it? It should be my board game classifications. All right, so Banksy's saying any suggestions? Well, of current games, if you like the big games, I mean, I love Distant Worlds 2 for the simple reason that it is the simulation in it is just incredible. It's one of my favourite games of all time. I really, really love it, but other people don't like it. It doesn't rate that highly. It's so hard to tell, really. But have a look to see, like if it's got abstraction, you may not be looking for that. So, but look, if you do like the Paradox what everything else they do, except for the abstraction, then Age of Wonders really is an exceptional Paradox title, in my opinion. It's the best of their titles. So yeah, so were you thinking of Desktop Dungeons, says Paul? I'm not sure who you're referring to there. I have looked at that before. I can't remember much about it though. And the Dungeon Beneath, says David Anderson. I'm not sure what that is either. Gorox is saying, any information about the next Shadow Empire DLC release date? I know it's like there was something. I don't know when it's going to be coming, but the beta, just get into the open beta, because you get all, like, they've only just done a big update anyway recently, so I'm guessing it's a couple of months away. But yeah, again, Shadow Empire, incredible game. Where have I got it up through here? So this is an amazing game. It's complex, but it's an amazing game. So this is my own personal preferencing down through this other side of the things I'm looking forward to, and there's not that many of them. Like if I just go back out and just select all, just click on OK, they're through there. I think that's got everything in there. If I then just go and sort by the extras, Z to A. So these are my most anticipated games that I'm looking forward to playing this year. So from 9 and then down through this other side. So Shadow Empire DLC and updates up the top there. Dominion 6, Field of Glory Kingdoms, Mars Tactics I'm really looking forward to as well when that one comes out. Then we've got Xenonauts 2, any milestone that they bring out will be fun to play. Tactical Breach Wizards, if that one comes out. You can see I've got a lot of 8.5s in through here as well. So the Manor Lords, when that one reaches, Headquarters, Menace, Distant Worlds 2, yeah, Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode, KeeperRL. Yeah, so there's a lot in there of the ones that I'm really looking forward to playing. Solemn Infernum. I don't know why I've only got that as an 8.2. That should be an 8.5 at least, or a 9. Probably a 9, actually. In hindsight, I won't change that one. But yeah, so Warside, that was the other one that was a bit more like the Advanced Wars. Anyway, won't continue on with that one through there. Yeah, so I've tried to knock certain things back a little bit. Like, even though I love Distant Worlds 2, I've tried to score that one fairly harshly. And same with Shadow Empire. I have scored it harshly here, but I really am looking forward to anything that does come out for that one there. Anyway, that's that one there. So God, sorry, I'm so far behind in the chat. I think I'm just going to have to skip past things. I'll just see if anything is grabbing. I was saying Jesse from Explorminate reckons it's amazing now, so I really need to retry it. It's Age of Wonders 4, yep. You do indeed. So Underground Elves are a classic. Drove from Dungeons and Dragons are simply Dark Elves from Norse mythology. Yeah, it's one of the things I like about, like, you know, for example, I don't know if we'll see spider-mounted units much in Age of Wonders 4 at the moment, the way it's been set up, simply because they cost too many points. But they may actually have algorithms to sort of choose, you know, that is acceptable to choose from the different factions. So yeah, and Dark Elves are an Age of Wonders staple, and that's easy for them to generate those. They'll basically end up coming. That's what I was thinking of with the elves. Like if you had spider-mounted elves that use the dark powers, you know, you're going to end up with Dark Elves. Essentially, it's quite easy to make Dark Elves in the Age of Wonders at the moment. So one of the races of the NPC factions is actually named Dark Elves. Oh, okay. But I'm saying I had a lot of fun making a stone skin golem faction in Age of Wonders 4. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They should have a combo effect for combining transformations with specific cultures. Yeah, that would be, again, limitations I think are always a good thing. Like when things are so open that nothing matters, that's when games get boring. And I think that Age of Wonders may have have edged into that sort of category. I'll just skip past a bit of this stuff and get towards the bottom. So Planetfall Empire mode, vastly superior than the Pantheon points unlock. Yeah, that was pretty cool actually. The actual way that they generated those worlds. The worlds are more intricate though in Age of Wonders 4. So Jesse's saying agreed. Empire to Pantheon was my big disappointment with Age of Wonders 4. Yeah, it would be cool if that was a way to do it. In fact, well, when you okay, let's be critical about Planetfall for a second. Planetfall should have had other moons and stuff like that you could fight on. This little maps, little mini maps around it. It didn't go far enough. So that for me, like we've got the underground in Age of Wonders 4, which makes perfect sense in a fantasy setting. But Planetfall should have had a similar sort of plane type system where you could go to other moons and fight in other locations and get other resources. A bit like Warlock. If Planetfall had been built with the Warlock mechanics of the other planes of existence, I think that would have been really, really awesome. So let's be critical about Planetfall. So still saying, Shadow Magic. I quite like both those factions. The demons were more classical shadow demons, even if they were a bit of an insectoid theme to them. Yeah, I didn't like them. The others, well, I guess there was a bit of a sci-fi, but I would say it was more of a different take on them. Like how different Dark Elves from Elder Scrolls, they did not really use tech after all. I thought they had laser weaponry, I thought, but I may be wrong about that one. If you're engaged, saying, have you played Grand Tactician, The Civil War? Recently bought it with the DLC that allows you to start with only one regiment unit and participate in battles under AI commanders. Actually, no, I haven't actually. It's one of those games, again, the Civil War doesn't interest me much. And so I've always just avoided games around the Civil War, just because I think I don't really want to invest the time in them. But then I've seen that there's been some really, really good ones that have come out recently. So Buka's saying to Banks here, if one doesn't like Paradox Grand Strategy games because they're too simplified, one can look at Slytherin perhaps. Yeah, maybe To End All Wars is a more detailed but has card mechanics. There's certainly Slytherin has got like a lot of much more war games, much more war game approach to their games. So from this particular list, we're looking at Shadow Empire is Slytherin, Fiddle Glory Kingdoms is Slytherin. The other ones, so we got Headquarters World War II is Slytherin, Distant Worlds 2 Slytherin. So a lot of these are Slytherin games. Actually, the other one that actually is interesting is a lot of these games are Hooded Horse games. Hooded Horse is going to have an incredible 2024. I almost was going to title this whole episode, look at what Hooded Horse is bringing on, because they've got some incredible games like Mars Tactics, Manor Lords, Menace, what else have they got in through here? Actually, Armour Brigade is another Slytherin one. But this Hooded Horse has got a mountain of games coming out this year, which is actually going to be interesting to sort of see how they actually rate. Now, where do we get to? But I'm saying, and Jesse Dean was just saying how I need to try playing it again. Now these updates and DLCs are in now. Look, Age of Wonders 4, if you haven't played it for months, then definitely play that one. There's a lot of games like that at the moment. Like, Shadow Empires had some major updates in recent times. God, it's going to be a special year this year, though. It really is. It's just going to be incredible. Well, let's have a quick look and see if there's any news that's happened. I'll just F11 that one back down again, and we'll just go and grab the Steam area. And just go back to the library. Yeah, guess what I've been playing? So, all right. So, anyway, this is... So Field of Glory 2, they actually, again, just to go on a bit more about Field of Glory 2, they do actually have these tournaments that come up. And again, if you're a new player, still participate. I've never played in them, but by all accounts, they're good fun. They tend to have them both for the Ancients and for Medieval. So you've got different tournaments that are coming all the time. For Field Glory 2, where people actually play against each other. Actually, I've played one or two of them, actually. They did do one when Medieval first came out for, they had a lot of different streamers, actually, in a competition, which was good fun. That was actually good fun. Actually, this is a new Prophecy roadmap. I won't worry about looking at that one. That's just come out today. Space Haven, so Space Haven Alpha 18, now in the Unstable branch. So different approach. I don't know if that's going to have much there. Yeah, I won't worry about it too much. Nothing major there. I'll have a quick look at this one. Yeah, I won't worry. That's a great age. That's a great game as well. .age. Cosmic Tears, always an update for that one. For the Crown, updates in through here. Added features, implemented widescreen support. Yeah, I won't worry about that one either. Just skim past these. Iron Oath roadmap update as well. Happy New Year. So, quality of life improvements, bug fixes, new enemies, new quests. Okay. New classes coming to this one as well. Just skim past that one. This week we've got Imperium's Greek Wars. Now, Imperium's, we do actually have the new one coming out, and I don't know when that's actually. Aggressus was the old Roman one, wasn't it? And the Imperium's came up. Let's just go back to the. I'll just go back to the actual store one that we had through here, and was it Aggressus Ancient Rome? That's the old one. So Aggressus Ancient Rome came first, and this is from 2018. This is considered very positive, but not very many people played it, so 80%. But they've got a new Imperium's coming out. Like if you have a look at this one here, so this is Cube Games, and Imperium's Rise of Caesar. When does that one come out? February. Okay, so this one's coming out in February. So it's sort of funny, they're bringing out other Imperium's things at the moment. So that was just a DLC. This is another DLC as well. So this one, I'm looking forward to seeing what this one does bring. I didn't like the last DLC, I've got to say. I didn't like that it was it was overly complex. It's a nice game. I also don't really like the look of the game, to be honest. Like the overall user interface doesn't. I find it a bit drab, but it's. If I just go and click on that one through there, just press F11. Hopefully that will fire up into something a bit more pretty for us to look at. But the mechanics in the game are good, except that you don't know that you've lost until an hour after you've been playing for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then find out that you lost 100 turns ago, which is annoying. So I'm hoping that that they'll actually be doing more with this. So, and I hope that they've balanced that out a little bit more as well. But I am looking for this one. Oh, to do. His name's either Toto, or it's still got a bit of work to be done on that one. Anyway, that's looking forward to seeing what that one actually does bring to this series. So it's a good series. But if we look at Imperium's Greek Wars, how does that one rate? So very positive. So again, it's the same sort of modelling, 87%, 83%. That's interesting that recent reviews have gone up a bit. Might have to have a look at that one again, actually. Because I did get pissed off with it last time I played it. So it was sort of one of those things where I was just got a bit annoyed with it. Let's just go back to the actual Steam area. Actually, Bentomate's just saying that looks like Vic has updated the roadmap for Shadow Empire. Okay, I think Imperium's a really good game. Yeah, so it's quite unique, weird 4X grand strategy hybrid, depending on what settings you use. Yeah, it was one of those things. I actually rage quit from it last time I played it, like when I was recording for it, and I thought, oh God, it annoyed me. But I'm saying I think it's probably the best historical 4X game on the market now after Civ 4. Imperium's really. Oh, I would have thought there'd be a lot ahead of it, to be honest. A lot ahead of it. Yeah, I don't know. Like this, even like the Field of Glory Kingdoms, I would rate way above it in terms of historical type games. I know it hasn't come out yet, but it's but even Field of Glory Empires with the Ancients was incredible. So no, I don't know. For me, I don't know. There's other games I would be putting ahead of it, and that may just be clouded from my last time I actually played it. So now, what are we going to look at? We're going to look back at the library, won't we? So we've got Stellaris. That's always got stuff coming out. The First Men this week. I won't worry about that one. The Kerbal Space Program always talks about stuff and then delivers about once every 6 months. So I'm just going to wait for the next thing for Kerbal Space Program. What they've added before Christmas was great. So that's awesome. But these development updates, I don't think we're going to see much in through those. Escalation of hostilities, the 6th of January. So developer diary. This second reboot of the developers' diaries, talking about the state of the game and things. This was such a surprise packet from last year. I loved this game, and I wasn't expecting to. This had so much to like about it. This was, different graphic updates, I guess, different types of weaponry. Improved ammo. Threat system rework. Okay, that's interesting. God, that was a good game. I mean, it is a good game. Well, I'm glad that they're going to bring out more content for this one, because this was such a surprise packet. Such an incredible game. Just Town of Salem 2, I'll ignore that one. Dev Journal there, just talking about the return of the Korath with the latest DLC. Scourge of the Sea, it says that it arrives, but it doesn't arrive yet. Now, I know when it arrives, it's not yet. But it's soon, it is soon. But it sort of says that, the Scourge of the Sea arrives. Really looking forward to this. This could be very revolutionary for Master of Magic. For the simple reason, there's one little aspect about this which is really exciting. Forget the race features. The race features are going to be great as well. So Raiders Huts, harvesting the bounties of the sea. This building brings prosperity to seafront units. Ghost Shipyard. Okay, so we can incorporate those. An Indentured Workers Guild. Prisoners Cat. Yeah, that's not it. That's not the one I was thinking of. There's a lot coming in this DLC, but there is one that is really interesting. I don't know if it's mentioned in here actually. No, it didn't mention it. It didn't mention the one thing that I really am excited about. Once mere orc renegades, the Scourges refuse to abandon their warlike ways, casting aside their terrestrial ties. They set sail and pillage. I think I read it. Had a darker twist awaiting them. The relentless curse condemned the pirates to. Yeah, it's not there. Maybe it's in one of the other ones. That one's talking about a particular unit. It's a power traits pirate. Seamaster. Yeah, no, that's not her. Not the one I'm thinking of. The Sea Comes Alive. I read it somewhere in there. We've got different water layers. So these are different sorts of water layers in through here. But it was a mechanic that I was really interested in. It's different resources. God, I think I read it. Yeah, no, it's not there. I thought what they were doing was allowing a way. Oh, here we go. This is it here. New arcane spell. To make the most of these newfound sea resources, a powerful arcane spell will be at your disposal. This spell allows wizards to harvest sea resources that fall outside the city catchment, ensuring that nothing goes to waste in your coastal dominion. I'm hoping that also means for the land as well. That one thing there alone for me is actually a bit of a game changer. To be able to cast spells to actually have it so that it's part of a city, I think it's really going to be so cool. Anyway, that is coming very, very soon. Really looking forward to this. There's a lot of content coming with this one here, and it's going to really flesh out the oceans as well. I'm really looking forward to this. So that's, as I say, it hasn't arrived yet, but it's just around the corner. So it's coming very, very soon. So arrives is not the right word. Fallen Enchantress game guides. There we go. So game guides for Fallen Enchantress Legendary Heroes. Unleash your magical prowess. I mean, that's old, isn't it? And 3 as well through here. Oh, okay, it's just links. Okay, that's just the links. So I hope they make a Fallen Enchantress 2 at some stage. That would be very, very cool. Anyway, I think it's time for Marble Run, guys. I'll just read a few more of the comments there. Oh, actually, no, we're going to look at VR designs, weren't we? And see what Vic has got for us. So VR Designs is the... Vic is the developer of Shadow Empire. Let's have a look and see what he's got there. So I'll just go and... Sorry guys, I pressed the wrong button. Hopefully I am back up and running. Damn it, I hope that I'm still, I better double check that I'm still live streaming. I think I am. I pressed the keyboard shortcut. Am I up and running? Can someone just let me know in chat if? Yep. So yeah. Hopefully I'm still live. Anyway, I pressed instead of pressing F11, I pressed the keyboard shortcut I used to start and end my my streams. It does say I'm still streaming, so I'm guessing I'm okay. I'll just double check. Yep, you're always live. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. Never went off. Well, I clicked the button and it did go off. So I clicked it straight away again and it came back up. So that was actually pretty cool. So, sketch of design plans for Shadow Empire version 2. There we are. Version 2. V2. That's interesting. Oh, hang on. Version 2 of the design plans. That's what it will be. I was thinking, I didn't know about a Shadow Empire 2. First of all, thanks for the continued feedback. Wish you all good health, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Last summer, I shared my design plans for Shadow Empire. Last December, the 1.25 Hardships and Hazard updates was released as a new mainline release version, so at least I stuck to part of the planning, giving me a small increase on my word score. That being said, actually, that was a great one. Got to say, a lot of stuff on my plate in 2024, mostly personal, moving house and a family extension, but also wanted to start finishing off a next decisive campaigns title. That's an incredibly good series of games as well. Now the family extension is play havoc with our work schedule. Yep, he's absolute beast with what he does do. So if we have a look at this is mainly what we're interested in, I think. So if we have a bit of a look at the actual, this is the updated long-term sketch. Now, I can't remember exactly what was coming, but they had Oceanic DLC, core engine work to 1.25. So new leader portraits tick, model design interface tick, a statistics tab. That could still be made simpler, to be honest. But it's certainly, if you know where to click, it's very, very cool. Statistics tab. I haven't played with that one much, to be honest. Unaligned versus alien critters. Yep. Prioritized discoveries. Battle reports, great. That's awesome. I just wish that there would be a bit more with that one as well, to be honest. It's sort of like saving them so that you can actually look at them more detail than what actually is there. I want more, Vic, I want more. Early and small economy fine-tuning. Better play at tech level 3. You have snowballing and balancing plus core planet-specific rules. I'm finding the AI now really, really exceptional, like what it does do. Optional easier mid-core logistics rules, air AI rework, quality assurance pass on AI economy and counter pushing and private economy quality assurance. Okay, that's all working well. Minor culture variations. This is really cool. I'm loving this. This is the Republica. So core engine work. This one's titled Republica. So advanced politics. That'll be good. So more exotic planets, that's cool as well. Advanced trade, okay, so I didn't do much with trade, but that's going to be good. Stratagem diversity, so much more fate strats, but ideally semi-procedurally created ones. That'll be great. And critter fun, so horrors and hive species. Yeah, what are we missing in there? Oh, Navy units. This is what I was missing. I was thinking, where's the Navy units? This is core engine work, militaria. So would very probably work with some level of abstraction, but use existing combat and model systems. That would be great to get Navy units into the game. That's the one thing that really I think it's missing. Advanced military rules. So prisoner wars. Actually, people have asked for this. That's a really great idea. Guerrillas, plus we will need some unit fleet management system as well. Prisoner of wars, and when you do take prisoners, that would actually really make the game quite amazing. Post-apocalyptic ambience reinforcement, so probably in the direction of tech level 0. That would be good as well. And then core engine work 1.5. This is a fair way off, so we won't worry about that one. But that's good. That is interesting. This is what we can sort of expect, I guess, this year. I'm not sure if this will come this year, but I was hoping that Navy units would be in this area and not over here. That for me is the one thing that really is, sort of not quite there yet with the game. So anyway, that's just get that out of there, and then F11. Yep, so that's fine. All right, so reading a few more. in the old world doesn't do it for me somehow. Yeah, there's old world content coming very soon, actually. Yep, so yeah, and Battlemode had said to check out Vic's site for the updated Shadow Empire roadmap. Master Magic art is so good. Give the art team a raise, says Benjamin. Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? Very, very nice. That's the other thing. I want to give another shout out, actually. I've been playing, because I don't get, like, quite often when I'm playing Master of Magic, I'm actually playing, I'm playing the base game because I don't like to put mods in when there's something new that's come out. And so I don't get to play very many mods with Master of Magic at all. And so, because I'm normally showing it off for other reasons. But Master of Magic now has got, go to the community hub, go to the workshop, and I do want to give a big shout out for this one, Mythical Realms. This is as good as any DLC that I've come across for this game. Like it introduces a whole lot of other factions. The graphics all look great as well. They all look very, very similar to what they've got. But this mod here, I've been playing that this week as well, like a lot, and it's I just love it. So Mythical Realms is a mod with substantial gameplay additions and changes. Here's a quick summary. So 5 new races: Atlanteans, Fallen Men, Kobolds, Mystics, and Voltars. And they all do play really differently as well. They're all great additions to the game. 42 new heroes, 48 of them being regular and 14 being champions. Rebalancing and addition of new traits, units, skills, and spells. Focus on buffering underperforming things, and make sure to review in through there. But this mod is exceptional. Like, it's absolutely exceptional from Zeth Nairo. I'm absolutely blown away, because as I say, I don't get much of a chance to play with the mods, until the Scourge of the Sea DLC comes, I had an opportunity, so I grabbed it, and it was I'm really, really happy that I did. It's really really well done. As I say, as good as any DLC for that one through there. So yep, okay, everyone's just saying I'm still live. Gary saying, "Don't bully Daz." So Ben was saying, I've not played Shadow Empire for ages. Can you give a quick review of how you're finding the changes, particularly how the AI is playing the game now? I did a few weeks ago, I did one actually when I went through all the changes that have come with the factions. It actually is, it's sort of, the AI is smashing me whenever I play it now. Like they're actually really, like they're collecting, like actually, I'll just see if I've got one that I started. Because I've started a few, and then I think, oh shit, I'm so far behind right from the very, very start. And if I just minimise those for a second, because it's sort of one of the, hang on, wrong game, too late. I'm sorry. I saw the shadow and just went straight for it. I just have to. I think this game takes forever to load up too. By the way, sorry guys. It's another game I need to go and play this one again, particularly with Solemn Infernum coming out. This is probably the closest to Solemn Infernum of any game out there. So Solemn Infernum comes out in February. Come on, game, load. Actually, saying I'm about to start a new game of Shadow Empire on the channel. Yeah, it's an incredible game. It's just exit out of that one, but that's a bit like Solemn Infernum, Shadows of Forbidden Gods, Shadow Empire. I was playing it the other day. I was streaming it, and I think I only played one session of it. But there's a few things actually that have come in this one. If I load a save game, if I just go to I only played it once on Twitch, so I didn't get very far into it, I don't think. Yep, that's okay. That was just after Christmas. But I think at this stage already, I was thinking, okay, I'm already too far behind, and this is pretty early on. Actually, no, hang on. I'm trying to remember what I did in this game now. Just let it load in. All right, so this was an ice world that I had sort of come in. I think I'd taken a couple of cities, I think, from memory. If I just press number 1, yeah, I took these 2 little cities and I had my capital in through here. But then when I had a look at the actual where we were, strategic map wise, so yeah, Tiefenstein is up and through here. This is one of the other major factions, and I think that they already had one of the other minor factions as well. If I click on that one through there, Scavenge, yeah. So already the AI has sorry, I can now explain what's going on. And so if I just press number 1 again, so what I had done is I had created like a friendship with Carino Republic because I needed to protect the border. So we made peace with them. But already the AI up through here, which is now sort of extending in this way a little bit, is cold with us, is a militarist major regime, has actually made this into a protectorate. So it's already started the process of actually securing it through diplomatic means, which means that I'm going to ultimately end up with not just this one, but this one as well. Now this is what the AI tends to be doing now, is actually using its its diplomacy to actually get ahead, and it hasn't really done that before. So we're at war with this raider group down the bottom through here, but it's it's incredible. And I think we just took over their city. Actually, I think that was what happened at the last of this particular turn. But what ends up happening now with the game as well, like if I go and end the game, there's now a big changes with the end game. I think even the battles, like if we go into reports. Forget where the battle reports actually are now in this. Is it in here somewhere? I can't remember where they actually are. Maybe under help? No, not under help. Nope, that's not it either. Yeah, I can't remember where the battle reports are now kept, but that's new. Yeah, no, it's not actually. I can't see it there. I thought it was in one of these. I don't think it's in any of the other ones that we see up through here. Stats. No, there's nothing else in there. I can't remember where the actual battle reports are, and like where it gives you a bit of a summary of that one through there. But if we now go and go to the to our leaders, if we just go across to the management screen and go to the leader profiles. And go to our secretary and talk with our secretary and resign from the game. This is big. If you've gone OK, and I then just end my turn. The game will then play one more turn, but this is major for me. Like it's if we were looking at the what was happening with the other factions. So. Acquired the news area, blah blah blah, but we resign. So we basically end up going back into the wasteland. Just dismiss that one, dismiss that one, dismiss that one. But one thing they've now added into this is we now get to see where everyone was and what they were doing. So if we were concerned about this one, you could save the game technically, and then just resign and actually learn from what the AI has done. Like how did the AI get ahead? Where were they? Where's all their units? Like what was around it on the actual map itself? These are all the different resource locations. It's awesome now. Like it's incredible to sort of see what's what's where. Like there's locations I don't think we saw those before. We had these two, but this is so now everything is exposed when you end the game, which is, as I say, just amazingly good. So this is actually, and the AI, you can actually then see what the AI is getting up to. Now, they don't have a big army down where we are, but they're now going to be securing this group will then be part of their group very, very quickly. So if we just go and have a bit of a look and see where they actually ended up coming from. So they're building sealed roads all the way through. Just press number 1. Helium Bank is one of their Klingberg. It gives you all the information, so you can actually now have a really close look, and this is massive in terms of learning how to play the game. Like there's because you can then sort of see what the AI gets up to. So this is fairly early on in the game, but this is You can see they've gone a lot further than what I have. With their expansion, they've certainly sort of run rampant here a little bit. So I can sort of zoom out and just have a bit of a look and see, the whole planet basically, which is, as I say, a great way to learn the game. That for me is probably the biggest change, or one of the biggest changes. The other massive change with the game is that if we go and have a look at these guys, like these are scavengers, which I can't remember now if scavengers were there before. What are these guys? Warmongers. This is a new, different type of faction. So you've got warmongers. You've got some of these sorts of guys as well. Like if we click on these are nomads. That was old, but then there's so I can't see all of them in here. But this group in through here. That's a major regime, militarist. Nomads again. Non-allied forces, slavers, we had them before, but there's actually about 12 different factions now. These were surviving AI, so this is basically robots. Farmers, they were there before. There's about 3 or 4 different types of farmers now. Raiders, they were there before. But there's actually now all these subgroups which actually play very, very differently. And that is, as well, is just incredible. Hang on, North Workshop. How did we do that? That's us. We must have called it that. I don't know. I can't remember doing that. Anyway. But anyway, that was just after Christmas, so that does make sense. I thought, oh, wow, what's that in the game? That was me. Well, that was the chat, probably. The chat probably made me do it. Yeah, these are all not non-aligned, so we're not sort of seeing too many other factions in through this other side. But the just those different classifications here. Nomad again. So we've gone around the world, around the planet. But what a great game! Oh, there's the arachnids. The arachnids. I think this is the stuff that we've fleshed out more. More of these type of things coming. Merchanteers. Here we go. Here's another completely different minor faction. And so these are much more. These are like a. I think these are like a nomad group that will actually trade with you as much as they possibly can. So anyway, it's really, really cool, like the way this one actually does work. So anyway, that's Shadow Empire. Had a lot of changes recently. Anyway, I won't stick in there, but that's just quit the game and just go yes. Okay, so what difficulty am I playing on? Just hard, so nothing beyond hard. Hard is hard, actually. Yes, it looks like the AI has a nice upgrade. I'm really pleased to hear that. It was fun before as an empire building game, but I found the tactical AI wasn't too hot. I'm losing games a lot now with that. Like I'm sort of finding that I'm just not able to compete with what the AI is doing on hard mode. So Gyrox is saying I was really hoping to get different victory conditions and game setup in Shadow Empire, like in Distant Worlds 2. That would be cool. And Super Mew Kitty Cat is saying, is the 4X June game good? The new one. I don't know. I've actually tried to contact the developers and never heard back. So that's Imperium, June Imperium, I think, isn't it? Is that what it's called? And is it on Steam? It does look good. June Imperium, yeah. From Direwolf, but I don't know. It's saying it's overwhelmingly positive, 96%, and very positive in through there. This is actually, I did try to contact them, but I know I've been in contact with them before with other games because Direwolf does Rust. It's not Rust, Root. They do Root as well. So they've got a lot of really good games, but they never contacted me back. So I might actually still make another contact with them and just see if I can actually talk to someone there, to see if I can get hold of June Imperium, because that one does look good. Root was great. That was a great sort of board game adaptation. They do these very, very well. Anyway, guys, we should really get on to doing the marble run. And Spice Wars. Spice Wars is great, actually. That's June Spice Wars. I don't know if there's more content coming for this one, but this one here, like it's got like a lot of people playing at 79%, which is good for these sort of games, these 4X type games. But this is again, there are 3 different ways of playing this one now, and which means that you've got like different ways of actually experiencing the game, which is quite cool. The game mechanics and the game loop on the actual main battles are always the same. But you sort of had like a grand map, like a one big map that you played. That was the default way of playing. And then you actually had like sort of more cut down maps, and then you had a way of playing where you end up with an over map of the whole of June, and then you're playing mini maps, but it takes a long time. So, but there are 3 now ways to actually play the game, which is very, very cool. So anyway, that's a very good game. Yeah, June Spice Wars. So I like that one a lot. And I don't know if there's more content coming for that one, but is it going to tell us? Is it just normal updates? This is the conquest mode. So faction-specific councillors with text dialogues and voiceovers have been added. They appear when launching a new conquest, during each mission, at the end of each conquest. Now each little area here is its own mini game, which makes it quite long to play it. The goal is to improve both the immersion and personality of each faction and give a better narrative feel to the conquest. A new mission skirmish has been added, and selection factions. Yeah, okay, this is cool. Actually, I don't think I've played it since this one has come in. No, I haven't. So I might have another look at this at some point as well. This is a great game, actually. And they've done such a good job of capturing the lore of the books in this particular game. It's not canon as such. Like, they do actually have an overlap of time frames where things are sort of all over the place, but but they have to do that for the game aspect of it. It's really quite cool. Oops, hang on. Just shut that one down. But it's very immersive from a Dune perspective. Battleman's saying away prefer it when games bake that in the form of the start rather than adding it later, unless it's very well done. That said, if it's Vic we're talking about, but he can do it. Yeah. So so different victory conditions scares me. It's hard to add into an existing game and make it work, both for the AI and for tightness. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's sort of like, certainly if there was objectives, it's because they've got a victory point system. I could see that working very, very easily with a victory point system, where you almost have like either a King of the Hill type system, or like in Dominions, where you've got like the Thrones of Ascension type system, where you try to control things that are alien and not part of an empire. And so you end up fighting, and everyone knows where they are on the map. I could see that being really quite interesting, actually, in Shadow Empire. So they could actually do that in Shadow Empire and still actually have them as to add to the victory conditions. I don't know. I think it could be done. So I'll get it now. I'll get it now. Says Super Mew Kitty. Creation saying Dune Imperium is a board game and my favourite of 2023. It's absolutely amazing. People have raved about it, actually. Battleman's saying it's kind of complex for an RTS. The Dune, it's a 4X real-time strategy game. It's pausable, so you can actually pause. But if you end up with armies on one side of the sector and you need them on a different side to defend it, it can be quite difficult. There are ways around it, but it's one of those games. There's a bit of a learning curve to it. So Super Mew Kitty Cat saying now my PC can handle them. Yep, but my PC cost me almost the same as a motorcycle. Wow. But I'm saying a victory point system with objectives would work. I was thinking more in standard 4X stuff like research victory and all that. Yeah, no, I don't think that would work. But again, you could still tie research in with victory points. So I think if he goes back, because he's got the victory point system already there, I think it would actually work pretty well. It's kind of a research victory in Shadow Empire, which is nukes, yes. Anyway, let's get marbles out and about. So I'll just go in and grab Nightbot and we'll log in. And again, nothing to give away today, so it's just going to be for bragging rights. Again, sorry guys. Giveaways, keyword, and the word that I want you to enter into chat to be in the marble run will be win. So just type the word win in the chat to be in the running, and we now have a point system that works. So last week we tested it after Christmas when I realised that it wasn't functioning correctly. User error, completely my fault. I hadn't set up the point system for the simulation of a marble run, but last week we tested it and it worked beautifully. So we'll do another three race run. I'm just going to grab myself a drink of water while you guys type in the word win. Okay. So again, no prize, but we are just for actually winning it. Now, someone mentioned last week there was a better way for me to get rid of all of the spaces down the side, but I forgot what the keyboard shortcut was in Sublime Text. I'll just get rid of this stuff and just close these down. So, file recent. There we go, marble names. All right, so Blackpool Punk Events is the last one in the that we've got in there so far. So I'll just go and grab the names. And how many have we got today? Oh, a fair few by the looks. That's good. 26. Okay, not as many as I thought. I thought we'd probably end up with a few more. Does anyone else want to get into it? Voodoo Dog's in there. Yep, we've got Voodoo Dog in the list. That's okay. Just go Control C. 27. Yeah, so Voodoo Dog just made it in. Can you test a mod I made for Dominions 5, please? I'm very proud of it. It's my first mod. I struggled 2 weeks with the manual. Made an entire nation of cavemen. I'm not going to be playing Dom 5 again, sorry. I'm not going to go back there. I'm playing Dom 6 now, so I won't get a chance to play it. Being perfectly honest. So we have so Pale Wolf Gaming as well is now in as well. So you've made it in. Now there was a way for me to grab this, and I forget what it was. Alt? No, there was someone who'd mentioned that you can just do a vertical selection in this, and I can't remember how to do it, to be honest. Sorry. I'll just go and find and replace. Does it remember? No, it doesn't remember anything. Do Control C, Control V, and Control C, Control V. That's still not too bad. Yeah, so this is saying just move the mod over to Dom 6. Yep. Yeah, and Battlemate saying you should be able to port it to Dom 6 fairly easily. That's out in 9 days. Yeah, actually, could you though? Factions have changed quite a bit, I've got to say. Hi, Drexy. Drexy, are you in? Yes, I don't know if you are. I'll just throw you in as well. Turns up for the giveaway. There we are. X101. There we go. So 29 players. No one else needed to get in there. Oh, William Thomas. Put you in as well. William Thomas. And was that the only other one? It looks like it is. Yeah, if you made a hang on, if I've made a test, it's my first mod. I've got to say, look, the actual documentation for Dom 6 for mod making has been fully fleshed out. So when it comes out, if you do need to port it across, I think it will be relatively easy based on what they've already got. So, yeah, that is absolutely, I can assure you that there's been so much work done on the modding with Dom 6. It's it shouldn't be onerous. The people who are going to have the hardest time are the map makers, because there's so much more in the map making than what there was before. But the factions, there still is things like if you've got mounts, mainly if you've got mounts. If you've got mounts in there, then that will be different, because you now have to separate them into 2 different types of units. But anyway, that was okay. So we've got 30 people. Great. Okay, well, so we'll save that. I'll just minimize all of this now and grab marble runs. Get set up. Just let it load in. Yeah, so my apologies for the whole of 2023. We were playing Marble Run, where whoever won the last race won the prize. So Voxter is not in. Okay, I can throw that one in there. Let's just go back across to race settings. We're going to be adding names. Clear that one. Open. Marble names. So Voxter, so that'll be 31. Cannot be added. You're in there, so that's good. Finish. So that's 31. Yeah, 31 name count. All right, so we just go back in. Now we're going to be playing Grand Prix. We'll be playing with 31 players and bots. So we actually have like and I forget how to show the actual leaderboard type stuff with this one, but anyway, it did work last time. So we'll play with 3 maps. So we'll go and play 3. So so just fix so I can win again, says Cecil. All right, so let's play 4 maps. Let's do 4 now that we've got a point system. So that way the points, I forget how they work. I think it's the top 8 get points. So you've got to be in the top 8 to get the points. But the number 1 gets 2 points more than number 2. But then from 2 to 8 or 9 or whatever it is, it just gets diminished by 1 point. So anyway, it can be anyone's game right up till the very, very end. Now start quick GB. Good luck, guys. Good luck. So here we go. This one is Slippery Slopes. So start the race. Let's see what we got. So we've got Blackpool Punk events coming through. Banksy out in front. Vox just straight through. Late entry, but still out in front of everyone. Eurosock, Bubo, Chinese Lettering, Steve, Castanar. Good luck, guys. Will anyone sort of be pushed off the limits? So still Voxter, Eurosock, Bubo, Chinese Lettering, Steve, yeah, Castanar. So there's a lot of them in here hitting this particular area. Now looks like there's rocks being thrown. Now no one's fallen off yet. Here comes the rocks. Voxter's still way out in front. Banksy coming in next. Hitting this limit soon through here. He's going to be the first one through this hole. Lucia is with Miguel Castanar, so it's been a complete change. Oh, Gary Oak's gone. He's fallen off the loop there. The others are still making their way through. Sithel and Kevin are sort of stuck in behind these rocks. Castanar, is Castanar out in front now? Looks like it. No, Lucia is. Lucia, Sinmora, Castanar, A.S. Russell, Miguel Ramos. Here comes the crowd now, making their way through. I think it's only Gary that's the only one that's fallen off. Now you can 2/3 of you can fall off, and it won't make any difference in terms of your scoring points. But if we end up with one of these other races where only 1 or 2 people make it through, that's going to really make it difficult for anyone else to win. This will sort people out. Sinmore is out in front. Miguel, now you're going to have to be exactly right with this. Everyone's making it through here okay. There's no real wobble with any of these. No one's fallen off. Sinmore out in front at this stage. And down we go to the next list. It looks like this one's pretty safe. Looks like William Thomas is coming in last. And Sinmore has now made it through this section and now going back up into the rise. So it looks like no one's going to fall off in through there. So Sinmore out in front. Here comes Miguel. And who else have we got at the back there? Gratian. Now, are you going to make it? Are you going to make it? Yes, you are. So Sinmore in first by a long, long way. Here comes the others. Some of you probably won't make this. Do you get any sort of wobble up on that loop down? Here comes Miguel. He made it as well. Lucia made it. Just Garatian, Castanar, John. It looks like everyone is making it in. That's no good. That's no good. We need some failures in here. So the top 10 is in there. So the points, I think, are for the top 8 or 9. So Sin Mora is going to get 10 points. Miguel Ramos will get 8. Lucia 7, etc., down through the list. So it doesn't matter if you come after that. So Steve P was the last of them. So Sin Mora comes in through this other side. You can see the final results in through here. So it's going to show, it doesn't show the points here as such, but if I go into ChatTactic, we then get to see the point system. So Legit Spoon got 1 point, Sin Mora got 10 points, and then sort of down through the loop and through there. So the ninth place did actually get 1 point. So that's where we are. So 1 win to Sin Mora as well. Actually, with these ones, it don't matter. It won't really matter that much. But anyway, let's just go down to the next map. So we'll play the next race. So enemy at the gates. So Gratian, so it's been a long time since I've been on the top 10. There we go. Wow, this one's got an animation at the start of it. This looks very intricate. Here we go, guys. Good luck. So it's going to be the first one through. I don't know where it actually... Wow, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, Legit Spoon's gone. Lucia's gone. They're both out of the race. Everyone else is in here. Voodoo Dog's got a bit of a leg along. Urasoccer's out. John Hole is... Oh, no, they're still in. Some of them are in. Sorbicol is in. Wow. So we've lost John Hole. Vivicus, Pale Wolf Gaming is gone. Steve is gone. So there's a lot of carnage in here. Anyone else that's fallen off? Not yet. Yep, Voodoo Dog has. In the back there somewhere. Actually, Steve P is going well. There must be 2 Steves. Gyrox, Kevin, Chinese Lettering, Zarks. Everyone's falling off in here, I think. Yeah, look at that. They're falling off the side here. Wow, we're down to just a small group. Who will get the points? Looks like Miguel and the others up there are not going to make it, so they'll be out of it. Here comes Steve. Who's going to get through these gates? Oh, I like this. This map's incredibly good. Now, Black Punk Events is coming through. Are you going to make it through first, though? Here comes Urasoc. Oh, it's going to be neck and neck. And Mad Hat. Who got through? Mad Hat, Ravendesk, Blackpool Punk Events. That was a dead heat. Urasoc. Next one in is Banksy, William Thomas. Oh, someone's just dropped. Sorbical's just dropped out. Battle Mode finishes in there as well, along with Steve, Castanar, and we're looking between Bubo. Supermoo Kitty Cat got the points, and Bubo misses out on the points. Wow, only 10 finished that one through there. So we'll view the final results there. That was a cool map. So unfortunately for Bubo, you might as well have fallen off because you still get 0 points. So that's the point allocation this time around. A lot of did not finishes. Next map. Here, Fear of Heights. This one sounds like it's going to be carnage as well. So we're saying I was 7th. Bloody fix, I tell you, fix. There we go. So look, I don't know what this one's going to be like. So let's just see how we go. Up we go. Anyone going to fall off? Yes, but that's what you want to do. You want to be falling off. Anyone through yet? Yes, everyone's through. Pale Wolf Gaming out in front. Urasoc, Voodoo Dog. Yeah, we're going to have... Oh, this is going to be absolute carnage here. No one's fallen off yet. Are you going to miss? Legit Spoon just made it in. All right, so people are just making it through here. Battle Mode didn't. And Urasoc didn't. So Silvercoal, Steve, Battle Mode, they've all gone. We'll just keep on watching these guys as they try to navigate this one. Sithel made it. Supermoo Kitty Cat didn't make it. These others, I'll just better double check and see where the leaderboard is. Bubo, Gary Oak just made it. Blackpool's coming last up to the top there. Let's have a look at this one here. Who's going to make it through? Oh, we've just lost Bubo. Mad Hat Raven Desk miles out in front. Wow, that's 2 good runs. Bubicus, but will you get through? Will you still make it? Is anyone going to be able to take the points? And Bubicus straight through, straight through. Now you don't want these things. These will push you off, like exactly like what happened to Bubicus. So he's gone. Gorox has gone. AS Russell's going to be the first one in. Mad Hat Raven Desk has got some good points in through here. Chinese lettering's gone. Duration's gone. So everyone's going to get pushed off here. So only a few of you are going to actually make it through. You don't want those things coming up when you're on them. It's okay. Well, there we go. Who was that? Steve and Zarks. See you later, guys. There's a chance you could still make it in there. We've got our top 7, got our top 8. One more point to... Oh, wow. Banksy. Did you see that? Banksy got launched off from the top and actually landed in the finishing to get the 1 point. Wow, that was a great way to finish. Now, can Drexy emulate it? I don't... Actually, did Drexy make it? He did too. Drexy did it as well. So there you go. A few of you actually managed to do that one. Very, very cool. Lucas is saying, wow, Kerbal Space Program Marble Edition. That was really cool, that one. Okay, the final results here. Let's have a look and see what we've got with the ChatTactic. Now, do you guys want to... let me know in the chat. Do you want me to show you the points where we're going into this final race to see if you can make it, or do you want to just wait and see what actually happens? I don't mind either way. So Banksy just gets the 1 point there. Thanks for saying I'm cheating. Yeah, but only 1 point. So let me know. Do you want to look at the points? I can actually. All I've got to do is just click on Grand Prix, and we can see who's winning so far. Yeah, show the points so far. Okay, here we go. So the points are, and it sort of just adds them all up. So 18 points is Mad Hat Raven Desk. We've got 16 points Sinmora. We've got 14 points Castanar. 10 points for AS Russell. 9 points William Thomas. 8 for Miguel Ramos. So it's still, you can equal Mad Hat Raven Desk if you're Miguel Ramos or Blackpool, but for the rest of you, you can't really make it. So so the rest of you in that list are not going to be able to get to the top level. Some of you are still on 0 points. Maybe we'll see if any of you can get off the 0. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So at least 2 of you will still end up on 0 points at the end of this. So and everyone will laugh if that's the case. So Cassian is saying I'm on 15, but no, all you need is if you're on no, it's got 14 there. What it does is it adds up the first 2 races that have been played so far. So that's a running tally of what's actually happened. And then with the last race, it just was done. If I go back to the ChatTactic, so Mad Hat Raven just got the +8, but before that there was no other wins. So I don't think there was another win anywhere else. Yes, actually, there was a win. Okay, so there was a win and a non-result. Sinmora had one as well. AS Russell just finished that one with the extra win. So that's the 10 points this time. So that's actually where we go. Yeah, Casson's saying actually only 14. I miscounted. But you can still make it. You can easily get to the... So I think that it's going to be hard for William Thomas. It's going to be hard for AS Russell. But I think the top 3 are really... So Mad Hat Raven Desk, Sinmora and Castanar. If you finish high in the rankings, I think you guys are going to do pretty well. You're a fair way ahead of like 10, 9, 8, for example, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4s, etc., etc. So let's get into it. Let's next map, see what we end up with. So buckshot. So at least we now have a point system that's working. I can't believe it went a whole year with that not working. I can't believe that. Actually, I should say I can't believe that you guys didn't actually flag that. I'll blame you guys, not me. Everyone's Lucius straight down. I forget who was. So Sithel was in that top list. Pale Wolf Gaming is out in front with Sissel. So Sithel's got a good start here. Is this enough to win the game? Comes Lucia. I've already forgotten who the top 3 were, to be honest. Let's see who can win through here. I forget who we're looking at. I think the others are fair way back. Mad Hat Ravendesk was at the top, and Sin Mora as well. So it's really is out of if Sithel can get enough points to get ahead of Sin Mora. Whoa, this is cool. I love this. Oh yes, I think Sithel has done it. He's coming number 1 at the moment. Actually, anyone can do this one. Now, that's right, because it's the closest to the centre. So who's going to get closest? Now, Bubicus, the Sithel's down to 4th now. Man at Ravendesk is going to win this, absolutely. He's coming in 2nd now. Yeah, there we go. Bubicus wins the race, but Mad Hat Ravendesk gets closer in the final result. Very, very cool finish there. So again, when we have a look at the points, the point allocation is 10 to Bubicus. Mad Hat Ravendesk gets another 8 points, so that puts him way out in front. Sithel did get another 5, so would have had enough to take the lead if Mad Hat Ravendesk had failed. And Sin Mora got another 2 points as well. So there we go. So our leaderboard did actually. Wolf Gaming, so my marble is broken. All right, let's finish the Grand Prix. See actually who the winners actually are. Will Sithel be knocked off for 3rd spot? That's probably going to be the interesting thing, because I think Sin Mora and Mad Hat Ravendesk will certainly be the top 2. I should have drank the bottle of rum before getting behind the wheel. Yes. Here we go. So number 3rd is Castanar. Okay, so was Castanar coming 3rd before? I'll have a look at the points after this. Sin Mora coming in 2nd, and of course Mad Hat Ravendesk coming in 1st. So the point system is now working, which is good. I'm relieved about that. So when we can see the points, wow, 26 points. Wow, actually this is equal second. So we've got equal second Sin Mora and Castanar. Actually, no, I must have had Castanar and Sithel ran the wrong way. I'm sorry about that one. Yeah, well done, guys. And then we've got Lucia, Gratian, both equal 2nd as well. Sorry, equal 3rd, or equal 4th, actually, technically. And then equal 6th is A.S. Russell and Bubicus. William Thomas coming in with 9. Miguel Ramos on 8s, along through there with Blackpool and Banksy. And then back down through the thing. Let's see how many didn't make it with any points. So Pale Wolf Gaming, Sorbicol, Voxter, Chinese Lettering, Zarks, Bubo, Drexy, Gyrox, Gyrox, and Gary Oak. Now you're all equal. What's that? Equal 24th. So equal 23rd. Sorry. So poor turnout there. Very, very poor turnout. So yep. So Castanar saying placed all 4 races. That's cool. Might have dropped from 3rd. No, you got into equal 2nd. So that's technically the same. Actually, no, we would give an extra point there. That would then, having a win would then, I think, trump the not having a win, if you know what I mean. So, although, yeah, they both, that's interesting. A.S. Russell and Bubicus both had wins as well, but they didn't get, that's the only points they got with the wins. So Bubicus took himself off the bottom of the map there. Anyway, that was cool, isn't it? It's cool with the points. At least we now can see things actually happening, which is great. Actually, it was fun to also do the summary as to who's where in the actual full leaderboard as well, like to sort of see who can actually make it through. You're going to get 2nd in that case. Yeah, I think so. I think that's how we would play it. If we were playing for a giveaway, I think I would give it in this case, if it was between Sin Mora and Castanar, Sin Mora would get it because of the win. I don't know what we're going to do when I do actually have a giveaway. We have to figure out a way of actually having maybe a race off between two people in the event that there's a dead heat for an actual prize giveaway. So Mad Hat Ravendesk, thanks for another great stream, Des. Thanks for that one. You've got a reason to have enjoyed this one. So Castanar saying this game hates me, yes. And Silvercall saying, yeah, to Drexy, it hates me more. You're going to get 2nd in that case as Castanar, yep. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. It's always good fun. I really do enjoy these. And I've learned so many games to have a look at from you guys. So I've got a few more there to have a look at. And yeah, so thanks again. Thanks for the suggestions and thanks for your time. I'll catch you next week. I will be uploading a lot more videos in this coming week as well. So I've got a lot more to record. I'll be live streaming on my Twitch channel as well. So